It's Bowling for the Bahamas and Celebrity Bowling Challenge to benefit the Bahamas Disaster Relief Fund. Sunday, December 1st, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. AMF Panorama Lanes, 1724 Genesee Street, Utica. Come have fun and enjoy a few games of bowling for a good cause. There will be prizes, food and drink specials, and some special challenges mixed in along the way. $20 per bowler or $100 per team includes 2 games and shoe rental. All proceeds go directly to the Bahamas Relief Foundation. That's Bowling for the Bahamas and Celebrity Bowling Challenge, presented by Disruption Network, Holy Pozzoli, and AMF Panorama Lanes. Sunday, December 1st, 1724 Genesee Street, Utica.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broking everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Hey, Disruption Network. This is Mike Sacco, the general manager at Nye Volkswagen of Rome. If you don't know me by name, it's only because you have not received the best deal. There's only one reason to leave Utica, and that's to come see me in Rome and get the best deal on your next new, pre-owned, or certified VW. Mention that you heard this ad from Disruption Network and receive $250 off your next vehicle purchase. You'll know why our customers say, I love my Nye VW. Come see us at 5865 Rome Taberg Road in Rome, or visit us online at nyvwofrome.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar, brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.
All right, listen up, everybody. This is former governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're listening to the D-Line, only on Disruption Networks. That's the D. Do it now. The
D-Line. Disruption Network's weekly football podcast. With your host, Chicken.
I will say, one of the greatest games I've seen this year.
Caleb.
There was no takeaways from that game. I mean, the takeaways were that we should have changed the channel earlier in the night.
And still.
Just fucking tit for tat, going back and forth, just a battle.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the D-Line Halloween edition. Joining me today is not Caleb himself as usual. Nope.
No.
They are both gone today. And we are here with Zach and Zach. Well, we'll call him Zach and Stu.
Hey, mama.
From, everybody knows Zach from Lost Guidance Podcast.
That's right, folks.
Yep.
Check it out.
Been on with us quite a few times.
I'm like a co-pilot.
Yeah. And you know what? When Sil said he had to go trick-or-treating, we were like, oh, who are we going to get? And he's like, Zach. So we're like, sweet.
Thanks, man.
We'll get Zach over here. And the other gentleman joining us today comes from a podcast. Let's see. You might recognize it if you watch the D every Wednesday at what time?
6 p.m.
Nice.
You guys have the best intro of all the shows.
That's because Rated R is dope as fuck, dude. Didn't know? Come on.
There he is, man. Best intro on the D right now.
Hands down.
Yeah, we're trying to get him to update the theme because a lot of the questions he asks at the end are kind of dated a little bit now.
I never even made it to the end.
No,
because like usually when I'm listening, like I got it on, I'm working, so I'm like, I don't pay attention.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I get in the groove. I'm just like,
yeah, it's definitely a good beat.
We start dancing.
Do you?
Oh yeah, we start dancing.
Dude, you guys are killing it right now. Both of you.
I guess
Both your podcasts are killing it right now.
Appreciate it, man.
Now you're in season 2, correct?
Yeah, just started season 2. I've been kind of stockpiling all my episodes, and it just obviously when you get started with these sort of things, you have your ebb and flow. You find out the mistakes. And
Oh yeah, we're still finding that out
made,
here on the D-line.
Fortunately, you guys here at the D-line and a lot of the people on the Disruption Network, you have a good team behind you, so it's easy. When one person misses, you can fill the gaps. Whereas my format is a little bit more situational, conversational style with one other person. So if somebody kind of doesn't have the time or something comes up, I'm left without a show. So when you tell somebody it's live and then it's not, egg on your face. So just been stockpiling a bunch of episodes, a lot of great guests, and we're starting to fire them off now. As you can check out the first episode on YouTube, Facebook, or whatever.
You bring up a funny point about the guests. And as people have seen on the D-line, there's times that we have guests and sometimes we don't.
Right.
And sometimes the guest is good to go and then last second something comes up.
Right.
Life happens. So, but when you do this as a podcast and you're dependent on that other person, you're right. It kind of catches you like, oh crap, now what am I going to do?
You don't have a contingency plan, or at least I didn't in season 1. So now I'm making
so now you're trying to figure out what's your contingency plan.
Exactly.
Absolutely. What do you got coming up this season?
Met up with these great guys. So the first episode was me, joined by the lovely Candace Malone, and she lost her brother to a opioid overdose. It was like lace stuff, and so she just talks about, and that's something we all try to shy away from in society. Is like, especially in that when you're talking about like the taboo of it in somebody's family, you never want to hit it
Such
right
a
in the head.
sensitive subject.
Exactly. So we kind of dove into that a little bit, and it's a great first episode. And then immediately after, I had these great guys from Sun Colored Chair. They're like an up and coming brother and their father's in it. It's like a 3-man band, a family band, and they just play some funky, jamming and shit. And it's like they do their own artwork and all that. So it's just really cool to see. They just produced their own first album, right in their house. So just cool guests like that. And then everything from local photographers and artists to a registered dietitian coming on and just kind of shooting the breeze with me about her path and how she's kind of, just helping the local school system and all their different dietary needs for like the children and stuff. So just the whole plethora of things. So if you haven't watched it, like I said, check it out, Lost Guidance Podcast. And I just hope people enjoy it.
And some of the guys here on the D, like Silbrith, have been on. Z has been on
Z,
as well.
Silbrith. We're going to have Caleb and you on soon. So people can
I'm sure you can get a lot of listens there.
Yeah.
Lost Guidance Podcast?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, because I just met you 5 seconds ago.
So me and Stu just got introduced. But yeah, Lost Guidance.
Where do I see that?
YouTube. You can watch a lot of the stuff. So last season I had Z coming on talking about his journey, just with the electric company and everybody.
I love stuff like that, man. And I fall into YouTube holes quite often.
Awesome.
So
I hope you enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
I had this one guest on, Kevin Hohen. He climbed Everest twice, and he's, once when he was 60. And he didn't make it to the top, but he still made it to like the last, base camp you can hit.
I just want to give some love out to Brian Washburn, who just climbed what mountain was that?
Kilimanjaro?
Yes.
In Africa?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Tallest freestanding mountain in the world.
Yeah. Awesome for him, man. What a great dude too. Stu, man, you guys have been killing it over there at the Wrestle Fandom Radio.
That's because Garrett's a machine.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. He really is. I feel like I'm kind of riding his coattails.
I love his locker room interviews.
He's very passionate.
It looks just like you're watching WWE, whatever. He is great for that. He gets right into character. But you guys know your shit too, man. You guys are really good with what you do.
Yeah, if to be truthful, I mean, like him and Demetrios when he comes on, because Dippin' Donuts, and he also works a lot with Immortal Championship Wrestling. They're more that side of it. I've been to 3 shows and I've enjoyed it, and I'm starting to pick up on people more and more. But personally, they especially Garrett, he makes that ship sail. I'm just happy to come on and be able to talk to one of my best friends for the last 3 decades about wrestling every week.
That's awesome.
So,
that's kind of how I feel with Sil.
All the praise for him, and
it's awesome. And it resonates, so you can tell you guys are boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and when people are that close, you have that, it resonates in your work and people and how you communicate with each other. Because I think that's one thing that people love about this show is you just have a natural flow to things. It's just guys shooting the shit about football, that's what people want. They don't want to hear like a written scripted, because anybody could do that.
I mean, look at us. We're a very serious show.
I know.
Very serious. Stu, do you get my costume? Yeah, bro, I got it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Well, choking the chicken, I gotta represent a little bit here. But I think it's awesome that you guys work together. You work great. You got a good Anthony. We gotta give Ant some love.
Oh, I love Ant.
Dude, they killed it at the Animal Jam with his band. What the hell?
No Compliance.
No Compliance. Yes,
they're fun.
Dude, I love punk rock type stuff.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
And they legitimately are like,
And they're punk rock,
They're-
but
they're-
without, you know how like some punk
there's
bands,
no frilly
That
makeup.
frill, yeah.
they get that like,
It's not mall punk, that's for sure.
no, and it's not. It's straight up punk.
They're not
but
wearing
it's
black lipstick.
It's not that annoying, super loud, don't know how to play their instruments punk. These guys know what they're doing. And they play. It's good and aggressive and fun. I loved it. I didn't even know it was them. I was like up there doing like helping out with the interviews and stuff. And I was like, here, I'm like, who the hell's this band? And it was they killed it. They were great.
That's awesome.
But let's talk some football.
Let's do so.
Man, we got a lot to cover.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting season, that's for sure.
Trade deadline came on Tuesday.
Nobody made a big move.
No, I really was upset about that. Like we seen some big moves like the week prior.
Yeah.
Like you thought that was going to shift stuff. Like you thought people were going to get like, oh crap, we got to make some moves. But then really nobody did anything.
I know. And I mean, those two, the two that you're obviously talking about are like Emmanuel Sanders and who was the other one last week, the big one?
Emmanuel Sanders and then
Who'd the Niners get?
they got Emmanuel
Or
Sanders.
who the Patriots get?
Oh, they got Sanu.
Mohamed Sanu, yeah.
Sanu.
Two enormous moves. Those are two teams that you're seeing start to line up. They see their potential. They see where they're lacking the holes. They say, here's our one last shot. Let's get some dudes to fill these slots, especially with Josh Gordon going out, shit like that.
They released
They did
him,
it.
by
They
the
stepped
way.
up, man. And I tell you what, I've been saying it for about 4 weeks now. The two teams making the run for the Super Bowl, in my eyes, are the friggin' Niners and the Patriots.
Yeah.
They are tight.
I've been reluctant to give the Niners the love they deserve because, like, somewhat to their schedule, But then same thing with the Patriots' schedule has been a walk through the park, really. Anyways, but they're the Patriots,
Right.
so I can't really say shit because they always find a way to beat everybody.
That's it.
But with the 49ers, I was like, I don't know. But then watching them play, who they just played last week?
Carolina.
And
Made mincemeat out of them.
51 to 13.
Yeah.
I saw the score and I had to make
And
sure
you're
I was
thinking
awake.
Carolina has, Luke Kuechly. He's, top 5 stat leader.
Yep.
You got that Kyle Allen had never thrown an interception. Kid looked pretty sharp. They have their weapons, Greg Olsen, DJ Moore. And all of a sudden, these guys walk through like it was Pee Wee football, man.
It was like, wow, I give them a lot of credit. I knew the 49ers were going to progressively get better because, John Lynch, like him in the front office, I think is brilliant.
Yeah.
He brings that, he always was that marker of like tough, hard hitting, old school football. And that's every time I thought of John Lynch, and I think he got snubbed for the Hall of Fame. I really think he belongs there.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But what he's doing with the 49ers is amazing.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of guys that people didn't give a chance to, and now they're undefeated, and they're rolling teams.
Yeah, seriously.
I would love to see the 49ers be great again, like consistently, because even though I am a Buffalo Bills fan, back when, when I was growing up, it was like the Bills and the Niners and Cowboys, you know what I mean?
I hated that era.
I
hated that
I always had the joke that in the early 90s, you were, no matter what you were, like I was a Bills fan, but I also had a Jerry Rice jersey because you couldn't deny, like Joe Montana and then Steve Young and Jerry Rice,
Right.
unless you were a Cowboys fan. If you're a Cowboys fan, of course, you hated the Niners. but-
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And then I think then you got to sneak Green Bay in there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Green Bay became quite a little powerhouse. But unfortunately, Brett Favre only got that one ring. Really shocked me. Like Aaron Rodgers only got that one ring, which is...
He's still got time.
I tell you what, though,
He's
you
got
look at
this
Tom
year.
Brady and you're like, you look good for your age. I look at Aaron Rodgers and some of his like pre-interviews and those little segments they do. He looks old and weathered, man.
But he's a guy...
Some Green
as
Bay
much
wins,
as
I guess.
I hate him as much as I hate Aaron Rodgers. I got to give him a lot of credit because, like, he has that poise that you get from Tom Brady. He has that poise where he can make those on point. He knows the system in and out.
Yep.
He has the accuracy like Drew Brees, where you can put the ball anywhere he wants. And then he's got the legs to escape. And you're like, dude, this guy, like, he's got the Russell Wilson legs. So now you're like,
He's
dude.
people
He knows how to scramble out.
Yeah,
You don't give him enough credit for that. But
and so, like, when people say, who do you think is the best quarterback of all time? Yeah, obviously, statistic-wise, you're going to go Tom Brady.
Right.
But Aaron Rodgers is, to me, the most complete quarterback that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because it's not just like you got Cam Newton's super talented, super like athletic, doesn't have it all in the brains.
Right. He loses his temper and just lets it get
Right.
to him the game.
And then you got other guys like Drew Brees, I think is amazing.
I think he's obviously top tier quarterback, but I mean, of
Ever.
all time,
Ever.
possible
Yes.
greatest.
Absolutely.
Don't at me.
And then when you look at it, like people like back in when we were growing up, it was you bring up the '90s. I was an '80s kid.
Yeah, I
so
was
that's
born
where I
in
fell in
83.
love with the Bears, and I followed the Giants for many years. So I hated the Cowboys. I hated the Packers. I hated 49ers. But that's just the way it was. It was all about love. But growing up, everybody was like, "Oh, Johnny Unitas was the best ever." It was Kenny Stabler or whoever they said was the
Snake.
greatest ever.
Yeah.
But in our era, we've seen the best quarterbacks to ever
it.
play the game.
It makes you wonder where it's going to go, right?
Yeah, Marino, Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
I mean, the only quarterback to ever win the title with two different teams.
Yeah.
And then and he went there twice each. And then you got Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Brett Favre. You know what I mean? Like these are some of the
Studs.
best ever.
And that's it. You look back.
Joe
and
Montana.
Everybody in that prior generation thought they were watching the greatest ever. And so it makes you wonder where in 20 years, how big can it get? And sometimes I wonder, obviously, with the contract negotiations getting to be friggin' crazy money, which I love the costume. If you guys haven't checked it out.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
You got to show them.
I am
Speaking
actually
of contracts.
dressed. So I got the Pittsburgh Steelers contract. I started coloring them, but the crayons were too waxy, so I gave up. And I got lazy. My New England Patriots contract and my Oakland Raiders contract. So I am officially dead money. I'm all of Antonio Brown's dead money. They're on 3 teams' books.
Nice.
It was funnier when I thought of it.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I should have dressed up like a zombie, though.
I mean,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Then
think
I'd
that
be
would have
dead
worked
money.
out a little bit better, but who's got time for that?
I know,
Yeah.
seriously.
Who's got money?
I am so lazy with costumes. like I just sort of because I hate the makeup. I hate the face makeup.
Yeah.
And I hate masks.
Yeah.
I can't do it. And then I hate having things that are bulky. I'm fat enough. I don't need to be extra bulky, bumping around. People are like, oh, be a kissing booth. No, man. You know how many people are going to knock over?
Yeah, that's it.
No, not for a fat dude.
I know, me too. Like I was saying before the camera was on, I was like, yeah, this is Elvis close to the heart attack, baby. I'm loading up on the cheeseburger. So,
I like to see Elvis, that somebody doing Elvis, but if he never died.
yeah,
Like big old beer gut.
big
like,
fat
fat,
ass.
ugly
What
chops.
if Elvis didn't die on the toilet?
He's like, I ain't nothing but a hound dog.
I need nothing but a hot dog.
That'll be a good soundbite.
Yeah. I had the Hulk Hogan costume. I was debating going with that.
The swole arms.
Yeah, the big Hulk Hogan. A couple years ago was great. When Beardsley Castle used to do their Halloween party, I just grabbed it off the shelf. I'm like, I don't know. So I grabbed the Hulk Hogan, and I show up in line. There's people lined up buying tickets, and all of a sudden I look over and I see Rowdy Piper. I'm like, what the hell? And I look over and there's the big boss man, the $1 billion man or whatever his name, and then like Virgil, China. I'm like, what the hell? Like they were next in line for me, and it was a whole limo.
Wait, the real wrestlers.
No.
No.
Oh, I was gonna say-
Most of them are dead.
I was like, what?
Now they're all dressed up as '80s wrestlers. So I come walking up, and it looks like I'm in line with them. All of a sudden, you turn around, and they're like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, "What the hell?"
That's weird.
And then they had a Hollywood Hogan.
Oh, Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah, that
you guys
Hollywood
had
Hogan.
to wrestle it out.
Oh yeah, dude. I actually knew him. I knew some of the people there, and we get into the party, and there's like some bombing each other and
That's
each
awesome,
each
man.
other. It was a good time.
Looking like a regular Bill Sunday, huh?
Oh yeah, dropping people through tables.
I can't wait to see that this Sunday.
Yeah, you going to the game?
I'm going to the game against the good old Skins there.
Oh, easy game. You're gonna win that one.
Well, my friend, one of my best friends, Larry, he's never been to a game. He's coming, along with 5 more of my nearest and dearest. And he's a Redskins fan, and I'm a Bills fan. But we're going to be nice to each other. I'll protect him. Protect him.
In honor of Halloween, I want to do a little thing called Trick or Treat.
Okay.
And you brought up the Bills, and it's a good point. So, Trick, I want you to name 2 teams that you thought that tricked you this year. You thought they were going to be really good, or they could have been like a different team, or it could be a player that you thought tricked you. But and then 2 teams that you think were a treat that like you thought were going to be terrible, and turned out pretty good.
Okay.
I'll go first with my tricks.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, give me a moment.
All right, so my tricks I picked are the Chicago Bears. Beginning of the year, Bears were picked. A lot of people were picking them to win the Super Bowl. I'd be surprised now if they actually make the playoffs. I feel like
you got duped.
Yeah,
you got fucking duped.
I'm not a Nagy believer. I feel like that call he made was it second down, first down, that he decided to kick the ball for the field goal.
Yeah.
You finally got Trubisky moving.
I know.
And I said this last week. Trubisky's one of those players that he needs to be running. Kind of picture like an Allen Iverson type of player that needs to be in the flow of the game.
Yeah.
You can't just set him up.
He works well under pressure.
Absolutely. Like, then he's not thinking, he's reacting. And we've seen it in that last drive. He had some big plays with his arm. Then he took off with his legs. It was something he didn't do all game, which is, I'm putting on Nagy again. Last year, Trubisky almost, he was leading the league at one point in quarterback rushing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Obviously now with Lamar Jackson, an impossible feat, but he was still a weapon on the ground. And with a running game that's as dismal as it is, it's been bad over there. And they finally got the run game going. But on that last drive, you're moving the ball. Your quarterback's actually playing heads up football. You finally moving the chains. I say you give him one last shot to either hit for the end zone or get a little closer of a field goal. But they were backing up. You had them on their heels. Why pull off the take it off the pedal and try going for a field goal? You're telling me you don't have any kind of.
And first off, everybody knows the Bears are cursed with the kicking staff. I mean, God, last season 4 straight post hits. How do you have to post 4 times?
And he hit it again, this dude.
I know.
So is he the most accurate?
He's the most accurate post hitter I've ever seen in football. It's insane.
I think it should be 4 points.
Yeah. All right, so that's your first one.
And the second one, I'm going with the Eagles.
It tricked you, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good one.
I thought the Eagles were going to be a lot stronger. Granted, they had a lot of injuries early on, but they got a talented team and a great coaching staff. And I really thought adding like Jordan Howard and getting some of that, some of their players back, I really thought they'd be a force in the East. And now they're kind of like a.
Seriously,
such a
you
weird
don't know
division.
what you're going to get.
They can't really get it running. Carson Wentz has been inaccurate, overthrowing dudes all over the place.
So to me,
Nelson Aguilar with his concrete block hands. Yeah.
Did you see that picture in social media or anything, Facebook, with him with just literally
with cinder blocks?
Yeah. Like, that's about right.
I know that's a good. I mean, I agree. I feel like they had the momentum from last season. Everybody said, man, last year everybody thought, all right, they're coming off the Super Bowl. Let's see how they do. They didn't quite perform to the excel level we thought, and then this year, man, just taking a tank, and not too much has changed with the team, so it's kind of curious to see them collapsing under their own weight.
Mike Burke's checking and he's saying second down, he's pretty sure, and yes, that's the perfect analogy. Thank you. What about you, Stu?
For that,
the two
thought we're going to be good and we're not.
Yeah.
Do you want to start or do you want to start? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Doesn't really matter. I don't know. I'm kind of getting put on the spot here.
All right. Well,
I got mine.
Okay,
go
go ahead.
ahead.
First one, the Atlanta Falcons. Here's why.
Yeah.
Here's why. They've won one fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Schaub was leading the league last week. I mean, Matt Ryan's out, obviously, but Schaub had the most passing yards of quarterbacks last week. I pulled that up just to see. Still lost the game. You got a team that's first in passing yards. They're averaging 316 passing yards a game, and they can't win a frickin' game. They're just falling all over the place. The defense is literally, I've never seen a more open defense.
What defense?
Exactly.
It's absolutely.
They're just letting them run. And then you start dropping guys like Sanu. It's like, where did they go? I don't know. Just all of a sudden, the Atlanta Falcons are just like Pop Warner football. It's nuts. I did not expect these guys. And it's not like they're totally out of every game. They lost last week 27-20. Mm-hmm. You're one touchdown away. They're just not closing any of these games.
They always, and it's funny because we got the term Falconized because they sell it.
That's good.
Everyone on paper they look so good.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, these guys are gonna be explosive. And then they just find a way to lose, just like in the Super Bowl.
It's nuts.
And they've never really recovered after the Super Bowl.
I agree.
It's like once they failed on that game and lost it, they just kind of shit the bed from there on out.
I mean, you almost can't blame them. That Super Bowl was heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
Oh, I do blame them because all they had to do was run it out.
Yeah.
No, seriously. It's just not. All right, so my other one, The Cleveland Browns.
Yeah,
Man,
I can see that.
studs on the team again. I mean, how long till Freddie Kitchens is gone?
Well, this is what, his first year?
Yeah.
That doesn't matter in Cleveland.
Yeah, true. But
I mean, you can't blame it on him. Obviously, Baker Mayfield is like a shadow of him former self. He's throwing these little shovel passes into the defenders. I don't know. He's missing these two. I mean, he's got Jarvis Landry. He's got OBJ. You couldn't ask for two better receivers.
He hasn't lost the locker room, which
That's
is
true. They seem all put together. You're not seeing a lot of drama.
Especially when that was a big worry with Odell Beckham
Yeah.
and Landry and some of these guys in Baker Mayfield and like some of their attitudes. A lot of people were like, "Oh my God, they're going to melt down," and we haven't seen that yet. So they haven't turned on each other, which is a good thing.
Yeah. They're keeping composure, but how long does that last?
True, but I think
I
they
thought
also
the
know
Steelers
that-
were keeping composure, and then Antonio Brown dropped a nuke
I
in
think
there.
there's a difference though. The Steelers were historically good.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're always putting up a good product. They're always in the hunt.
True.
So you have higher expectations in Pittsburgh, where in Cleveland, not so much the case. I mean, in
Right.
Cleveland, you kind of go there to like that's where players go off to die. That's where their careers ended.
Jamal Lewis.
Yeah, so many more. We could just go through a whole list. Mm-hmm. But same thing with the Bears.
Yeah.
But I feel like I think like going into it, like a guy like Odell Beckham and Landry and some of these guys are like, we're building something. It's not going to give the first year. So I think that might be a change of attitude. Whereas like Pittsburgh, you feel like kind of like disintegrating. Where Cleveland's still trying to build. They're still trying to find that identity. So I think that might be a big reason why we haven't seen a huge meltdown yet. And I see it with like same effect with the Giants. I mean, with Odell, Giants always had a pretty decent team. And then all of a sudden they start losing, it affects you a little bit more.
Right.
So I think that might be a little bit reason. But you're right. The Cleveland Browns definitely have not lived up to their expectations.
Yeah, I got tricked, baby.
Which seems funny to say.
Yeah. That's what he got to do.
Well, you guys pretty much hit on all the ones that I would have picked with the exception of one. But like the Eagles, the Bears, total agreement. Same thing with the Browns. So I'm going to pick them as one. Kind of, sort of, because they had a lot of hype beginning of the season. But I've seen this before. I've seen this in a lot of sports before. You got all these. You got Odell Beckham. You got Landry. You got Baker. He's the new cool kid in town doing all the commercials and shit. But I've seen it, and the fact that they're not doing well doesn't really trick me all that much. But I'm still going to steal it as one. The other one, the Chargers.
Oh, yeah.
The Chargers were balling last season.
That's true. Point.
They were balling last season. Yeah, the whole Melvin Gordon thing, but then Austin Eckler looks just fine.
Yeah, he was running.
Yeah, Austin Eckler basically put like a fatal wound into Melvin Gordon's plans to like get traded out of there.
Yeah.
That.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I would have to.
Thanks, Dick.
I would have to say that.
Seriously.
If I had to pick a team that's like, what are the Chargers right now?
They don't have it on this. I was just going to say, still needs to start writing
They're
the
like
record
2-5, right?
Yeah.
If I had to pick like a 2-5 team or something like definitely below 5, like well below 500, I'd pick the Chargers for a turnaround. Just off the top of my head, not looking at their schedule.
Right.
So yeah, I guess the Browns and the Chargers. And could Phillip Rivers, as much as I am a Drew Brees fan, could that man just get to a Super Bowl?
I know. I feel
bad for the guy. He's the same with like Matt Stafford. These guys are like really good guys that don't have all the pieces.
Yeah, he can pump out kids, but he just can't get those rings.
Well, and
every year he doesn't go to the Super Bowl.
He has another kid.
And everybody has that argument, like between him and Eli Manning, because the whole trade when they got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
And I still hold that, like if Rivers stayed on the Giants, he'd have like 2 or 3 rings easily.
I know.
Easily.
He's a better quarterback than Eli.
Absolutely. He's more of a leader
Eli
than
finished with a dead even record. How terrible. And then people are like, he's Hall of Fame worthy. I'm like, why? Because he won a couple Super Bowls?
On the backs of his defense and a good running game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what bothers me so much. But I had Sill and Gaff on air, and I had them both look up the stats in 2007 and 2010, both years that Eli won the Super Bowl. Eli threw I think 20 interceptions in 07 and 25 in 2010, whatever. And then Phillip Rivers, I think never threw more than 15 or 16 interceptions in his career.
Yeah.
So you look and now adding like 30, 40 touchdowns or whatever it is. But everyone's like, well, how come he never made a Super Bowl? New England Patriots, Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
Just those two teams, Pittsburgh Steelers. Those have been epically good teams. I mean, the best ever. Two of the guys that we said are the greatest quarterbacks ever.
Yeah.
Brady and Peyton Manning. Those were their teams,
Exactly.
and they battled it out every single year. So a guy like Philip Rivers, it's such a hard thing to get over. And then you got bringing the Steelers in there, and then you had a really good Ravens team and some really good Denver teams.
Yep.
So now you look in the NFC, you haven't had that dominant team year after year. You know what I mean? It's 1 year it's a couple years you got Seattle playing really tough. Then you got the Giants are looking really good. Then it's another NFC team, the 49ers or whoever, and then it's 1 year. So you don't have that consistently good team. So in NFC you constantly got guys, new people going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point.
So I feel like he got a tough break. So if Philip Rivers was on the Giants, I think it's a cakewalk. He's in the Super Bowl at least 3-4 times.
I mean, he's still getting the potential with the teams that he's got the past few seasons, but there's still those holes. And I don't know. I hope the guy makes it to one. Yeah, for sure.
And you guys, do you feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers might be a trick?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think they play a lot better than the record shows this year with everything that's happened to them.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that. Given the fact that 2 weeks ago that we were on our third string quarterback, obviously the Big Ben thing hurts. First the Le'Veon Bell and then Antonio Brown. It hurts. You lose these guys, whatever. I think we got some young guys. Juju. You got Nate Washington. Mason Rudolph stepped in a big way. I think he's still got to shake off the rust, especially since that nasty concussion. He seemed a little bit sketchy and a little hesitant to throw, but then toward the end of the game, because I'll be honest, I was shitting my britches. I was like, that's it. I'm not going to work tomorrow. I'm going to off myself tonight. This is it.
What, against the Dolphins?
Yeah, I was 14-0. They're on like the 3-yard line and going into the second quarter, and I'm like, oh god, this is it. I renounce my faith, But Rudolph came, pulled the team together. You're seeing guys step up. I mean, again, they're on like their third string running back. They're a team I thought would step in and do some trade work, especially with Connors has an injury, Samuels has an injury. You're on your last guy, Edmonds, I believe. So.
Do you think that at this point they're like,
I think
let's just ride it out?
I don't know. Tomlin seems to be just biting his lip as he does and not saying much on the sideline. You don't hear a lot coming out of the locker room anymore. Whereas preseason it was a little shaky. A lot of I don't know, just a lot of I hate fucking gossip on a team in the locker room. When you hear when every third headline is my team, and I'm like, God damn, why? Yep. Just get it together and just work. I'm starting to see guys like Connors. You're starting to see the defense pull together. I don't know. I'm hoping
Tomlin on a hot seat.
What?
Is Tomlin on the hot seat?
Yeah, absolutely.
You think so? Do you think it's a mid-season firing, or do you think they're going to ride it out?
End of season. They'll ride it out. It's not.
What do they call it? Black Friday or Black Monday?
Oh yeah,
Black Monday when all the
It's not going to be Ben going. He just renewed his contract for 3 more years at the start of this season. It's not going to be Connors. It's not going to be any of the defensive coordinators or anything. I mean, Tomlin has still never had a losing season in his career, but
till this year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the straw that breaks the camel's back.
So. I'm going to go ahead with my treats.
Let's do it.
My treats this year, the Buffalo Bills.
Son of a bitch. That's
Buffalo
wrong.
Bills, man. I'm always so reluctant at the beginning of the year because Buffalo usually comes out a little strong.
You.
Right?
Everybody.
And then you hear about, Buffalo, and then you get about week 6, and you're like, all right, well, we're done.
Yep.
But I like the way Buffalo plays. And I know they're coming off a loss to the Eagles.
Whatever.
But I still like the way this team plays. I still like they got a great defense. These guys are like attacking the quarterback. They got a great, strong running game.
Seriously.
And the QB. I mean, they're a whole different team now with him there. So I just...
And kudos to Frank Gore for being an old stud, dude.
Just a beast.
I shed a tear a little bit.
Vitamins.
Every time Frank Gore runs, I shed a tear a little bit because I'm like, I'm that old. And he's just passing people like 15,000 yards.
Dragging guys through the end zone.
Don't care if it took him like 5 more years to get that milestone after like Barry Sanders. Don't even care it took him 5 more years.
Yeah, but he was a different runner.
Yeah.
Barry Sanders, to me, besides Gale Sears, was the best pure runner.
Yeah.
You know, and I put Shady McCoy like a few levels down, but
Like
Shady McCoy's pretty
slippery
nasty.
guys who, when they get away, they turn on the burners and you ain't catching them.
You just like, what did I just see?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. It's just and Barry Sanders could be hit for a loss so many times and then bam, he's out for a 75-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Whereas like Frank Gore was that like grind it out, like just kill
Always
your
getting
defense.
2-3 yards, 4 yards. Yeah.
At first it'd be like 2-3, then that's like
then it blows
4 or
up.
5, then
Yeah.
it's like 6, 7, 8, 9 yards
Yeah.
at a whack, and you're like, he's just dragging dudes. And I give him more kudos because the guys like that, the powerhouses, they usually don't last that long because they take such a beating. And you know, when he was in Miami and everyone's like, "Oh, he's done." I'm like, "No, Miami
he's not.
sucks."
Miami sucks.
And then you picked him up in Buffalo, and they had Shady at that time. And I think there was a stat that I read heard on the game that him and Shady are the 2 most productive players after 30 that are still active.
Wow.
On running backs, and they oddly enough they were just on the same team.
Yep.
But putting Gore there and having a young stud behind him too to
Singletary.
learn.
Yeah.
I want to see more from him
Yeah,
before
me
I
too,
like
man.
crown him, but he looks.
But when you got a guy like Gore, and Gore is that guy that's gonna he's gonna teach him. You know, like Shady's still trying to make his mark. He's not that coaching type of guy. Whereas Frank Gore, he's a team guy, and we made a comparison last week to him to Curtis Martin.
Okay.
I
I appreciate that.
That stud guy that doesn't get a lot of accolades, but then when you look at him, you could rubber stamp him for over 1,000 yards every single season.
For sure.
So I go with the Bills, and then I go with the Colts.
Okay.
The Colts to me, in the beginning of the year, everyone's like, okay, Andrew Luck retired, they're doomed, they're dead. Jacoby Brissett's a joke, and I said, I'm like, I still kind of like him.
He learned from Tom Brady.
I like Jacoby Brissett, and what I seen him with the year he started in place of Luck, he didn't have anybody around him. So this kid was flying around trying to pull shit out of his ass. Now you see him, and he's just balling, man. This kid is this is my job. I'm keeping it.
Having a line helps.
Yeah,
That's true.
Having a line helps.
One of the best in the league for sure.
And having a guy like Frank Reich,
I was
as
going
a
to say,
coach that knows what it's like to have to step in and take over for a guy like Jim Kelly.
yeah, I was going to say that water cooler talk here, but I almost think that Frank probably might have sat down with Brissett at some point and been like, listen, I know about pressure.
Oh,
let me
absolutely.
tell you about this game. Possibly the greatest football game, the greatest comeback of all time. I watched that game as a kid, and it's
And you don't think he said anything to Nick Foles tho? I
Yeah.
mean, that's what I'm saying.
yeah, exactly.
He's been there before, and these guys obviously listen to him. So I thought Jacoby Brissett was in a good position, and people thought he was doomed. And now look at him; they're killing it. They're a good, strong team.
Yeah.
And so they're a treat. I think definitely.
Absolutely.
So 2 good ones for sure. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
You want to go? What are yours, Stu?
Mine, actually, for treats, I was going to say Brissett, to be honest, because you can ask my roommates, you can ask any of my friends. As soon as Andrew Luck, before a single game was played, I was telling you guys before we went on, I was like, watch Brissett. That's who I'm rooting for, because I just got a feeling. And he's balling out. They're winning. Possibly my favorite division right now to watch is honestly the AFC South, because I don't know what the hell is going to go on.
Oh,
you
between
got the Texans.
Texans are a great.
Yeah, so
team,
can I just change that actually to a treat being the AFC South? Because how often can we say that?
Okay. Yeah.
I'll accept
And then
it.
you got the
Yeah, that's
Jaguars
good.
with freaking Uncle Rico
Minshew, yeah.
there.
Jack Brown from Sophista Funk posted on my Facebook the other day for my birthday, and thanks to the 3 and Out crew for the birthday wish after they trashed my Bears. But he goes, the only man I heard in media to say that the Jacksonville Jaguars were gonna be okay, but Nick Foles was gonna suck.
Yeah.
And I did at the beginning of the year. I'm like, I just got a feeling that Jacksonville will do okay, but I think Nick Foles is gonna.
I
suck.
feel bad for that man too.
I know,
Nick
man.
Foles.
I said
How
he was
can
gonna
you
be a
hate Nick
bust.
Foles?
He fell out of glory. I think if he had stayed in Philadelphia, they'd be doing better off. Honestly.
Yeah,
That was the
sometimes it's
system
the
that worked
system.
for him. Yeah.
Right.
He's the Eagles Flutie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, not obviously different.
Or remember Rich Gannon?
Oh yeah.
When he came in
one
for,
of my favorites
for,
too.
Kansas City, he came in for Gerback, and he brought him to 10-3 or something like that, and then they switched him for the playoffs, and they put Gerback in, and they lost. And then Gannon the next year went over to Raiders,
Yeah.
and ended up going to Super Bowl.
In junior high school in art class, I actually made a ceramic Nick Gannon model. Like that was the project, was to make something that you enjoyed, and I enjoyed Nick Gannon at quarterback.
When what's his name? Gruden got a hold of him.
Yeah.
Like he just knew what to do. Like then you seen these short intermediate passes. He had legs to scramble, and then he really changed his career. So sometimes it's a change of, it's a system. Giving a guy a chance, and like you said, like he could be their Flutie.
Another treat. I could just go easy and say the Niners because it's great, but I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson for the Ravens.
Okay.
Just because I'll sum it up with one of his first quotes at a post-game press conference. Not bad for a running back, huh? Because everyone was like, "Oh, how's he gonna do?" I mean, he's not gonna be Peyton Manning, but he's putting up numbers. Am I blind to not see that he's putting up numbers either with his legs or his arms every week?
And Baltimore's been sneaky good.
Yeah,
so they're one of those teams that kind of like the Steelers. Oddly enough, their biggest rival.
I mean,
they're always pretty good.
The way it looks right now, they're going to be representing that division in the playoffs, right?
Yep.
The way it's looking.
I mean,
it looks it.
I mean, I don't see anybody else.
The Bengals suck so bad.
Oh,
my God.
The Bengals suck so bad, dude. I actually am pulling for because they play Miami this week, right?
I'm not sure.
So you're looking.
Oh no, they have a bye week.
Yeah,
that's right. They have a bye week.
Miami's taking.
So they're not going to lose.
Thank you for once. They might lose to the bye week, but all right. So my treats. All right, let's see. First one is just because the QB is having. I don't know how the hell he keeps pulling it off. He's having an MVP run of a season. The Seattle Seahawks.
Yes, big Russell Wilson fan.
Oh,
since
me
college.
too, man. The guy keeps coming back.
Yep.
Every time we count him out, they're like, this ain't the same team it once was. They're like, holy shit, I think it's better. You got Chris Carson, easily top 5 running back right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got over 800 yards, so doing pretty fucking good. I don't know, man. They're starting to click on all cylinders, and I love to see it.
And oddly, they're really good on the road this year.
Yeah.
Like, they're road warriors. Usually, it's really hard to go into Seattle.
Right.
No matter how good they're being,
which makes it even scarier.
Yeah, but they're doing really good on the road.
Over here, my nipples.
I'm kind of horny.
That's right, folks. You came for the football chat, but you stayed for the nip slip. And my other
Janet Jackson is available for counseling.
My other treat. As much as it's probably a cop-out, I got to say the Niners. Because I knew they'd be good, but I didn't think they'd be friggin' undefeated good.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to be kind of like how the Bills are, like offense, passable, you know what I mean? But good defense.
Killer defense.
And even when the Steelers should have beat the Niners. Am I right with that?
Yeah.
Because, 5 turnovers or something crazy? I didn't get to watch that game. I just heard about the Niners coming back and beating the Steelers a couple weeks ago or whatever. Mm-hmm. And, Niners. Great.
I know, man. I don't know. I don't know where they came from. They got that Breda. They got Tevin Coleman now. Those guys are really making a run game.
Yeah. Kittles or
George Kittle. You got Emmanuel Sanders, Goodwin.
Sanders made a net impact right
Marquise
away.
Goodwin is like one of the fastest dudes in football. You know, so
it's interesting to because their wide receiver core is a bunch of castaways.
Yeah,
Marquise Goodwin represent.
Yeah.
Bills Mafia.
and he's a good role player. He's a solid player.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where I think where your coaching comes into play, where you can take solid players and be really productive with them. And that's why I think when they went after Sanders, they realized that we got some solid players, but we need leadership. We need make a run for the Super Bowl. And I don't know if Emmanuel Sanders is enough to put him over. I mean, Emmanuel Sanders maybe a couple of years ago, but who knows? I mean, maybe he resurrects his career. We've seen that happen. Like we were just talking about
Frank Gore.
Yeah. And we've seen other guys, like Randy Moss, and he was on his way out. Then he gets picked up by New England and becomes a stud again.
Yeah, after the Raider debacle, I didn't see that coming with the Patriots.
Carson Palmer, same thing. When he went to the Raiders, he shit the bed. Then he went to the Cards, and he killed it.
Kurt Warner going to the Cards. We can go on and on. Yeah.
So those are good picks, though.
Thanks.
I like those.
I want to talk a little bit about some of these. It's kind of these bullet points, but things that I wanted to talk about too. Joe Flacco, man. I'm hearing a little bit of noise about him. Herniated disc. Then he complains about all the coaching staff. Then he doesn't have a herniated disc, or he's not going to be out as long as he thought. it seems like Denver's collapsing real quick. And they have a lot of Von Miller. He seems to be, from what I hear, unhappy with where he is.
Well, yeah.
How do they recover from that?
And which is weird. With the Von Miller thing,
like you said, they're losing the locker room.
Yep.
And
it's really weird because Vic Fangio is a great D coordinator, and I was really hoping that he would make a good coach. And I think he came into a situation because John Elway has made some really weird moves.
Yeah. Oh, his seat's getting pretty toasty, I think,
right?
too.
And then it's his first coaching job, and the team was already beat up. And then you bring in a guy like Flacco, who really, I mean, how many years did he have left in Baltimore? Maybe 2, 3.
Yeah.
At best. I mean, even without Jackson pushing down, like on his coat heels, like he, like health wise, I mean, he hasn't been hurt too often, but like you could tell, like he's done.
Yeah.
Like,
he had his magic run.
Yeah, he doesn't maintain himself the way that like other elite quarterbacks do.
Right. And I never really put him as elite. I always put him as. He's okay with a big arm.
Yeah.
And like you get a guy like Torrey Smith where he could just run.
Oh, yeah.
And you can just throw it as far as you can and the guy's going to catch it.
Yeah. And you couple it with a usually astounding Ravens defense.
And a great running game.
Yeah.
They always, Ray Rice.
Yeah.
You think about the running games they've had there,
You just smack people all around, And
Yep. Jamal Lewis.
First rookie tandem was Flacco and Rice to go to the playoffs first year, rookies together.
See,
if I remember correctly.
So they always and great coaching.
Mm-hmm.
They've always had really good coaching over there. Then you go to Denver, where they don't know who they are. They don't know if they're a running team. Their defense was still pretty good, but then they're lacking some star power now.
You got that Freeman. Is that Philip Lindsay still there? Or is
Yep.
All right. So I mean, you got two young guys who can run the ball. The offensive line isn't doing a whole lot.
Which is weird for Denver. Denver's always churned out 1,000 yards back. Didn't matter
Yeah.
who got hurt or whatever happened. 1,000 yard back. 1,000 yard back.
Yeah.
No Sean Marino, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, he was good. So
Yep. There was a
historically just good
whole
running.
ton of them too. That like each year, and then like somebody else will pick them up. Clinton Portis,
Yeah.
But now like not having that. It was always the way they used that zone blocking scheme, and it worked awesome. They did it to perfection. But now it just everything seems so no identity.
The Broncos still have Peyton Manning hangover, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're still hanging on to an old scheme.
That's why Elway was relevant, because he went back to his old team.
I actually think
got Manning.
I think they got Brock Osweiler hangover.
Oh yeah.
I think if Osweiler stayed there, he would have had a better career. They would have kept to the same formula, and they would have let him grow that way. I think that's where everything goes.
Not enough NFL teams do that anymore, though.
Nope.
They don't bring in like Josh Allen. Like, I was scared. I'm like putting him in last season. I was really scared. Then he got hurt and came back. He did really well. And this year, mixed bag of
He's getting
results.
his footing under him for
He
sure.
is.
But it'll be
But-
interesting to see because now they got this guy Brandon Allen. I just kind of looked into him before the show. He's only ever played 4 preseason games, so they're playing it already kind of beat up Browns at home. So I don't know. I hope we're either going to see something exposed that it was Flacco's fault, it's the coaching's fault, it's the offensive line's fault. There's going to be a definitive answer, I think, in the coming weeks, especially in this next.
And I really think it's Elway's got to lose his job.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what they're doing now, they did it last year with Paxton Lynch and what's his name there, Case Keenum.
Keenum, yeah.
And whoever else was over there. And
Dude got a bad rap.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Case Keenum, like
When he was
there's-
with the Vikings,
He was tearing it up as the replacement, and then everybody just threw him to the wayside.
and you know
he
who
did
else?
in Houston too.
Running back wise, I just seen Murray for New Orleans.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Like that's a dude that everywhere he's played, he's done great.
Latavius, yeah.
Latavius Murray is a great back. People don't realize that, but then everywhere he's gone,
He
they
gets
picked up
outshined.
somebody better.
Yeah.
You know, like they picked up Cooks in Minnesota, so he was
Yep.
You know, he was gone. And then like he goes to New Orleans, and then they got Kamara.
Yeah.
You know, everywhere he goes, there's just somebody that much better that you forget that this guy's a stud.
Yeah.
And we've seen it the past couple of weeks.
And that's kind of Frank Gore-esque. I mean, he's
Yeah.
a different runner, but same thing. That guy got bopped around until all of a sudden he found a spot where he's going to be the head guy again. He was kind of that way with the Colts as well, but you know we're seeing a new generation of Frank Gore. So hopefully Latavius finds his footing. I love the
hopefully
kid.
Gore gets at least to sniff the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
That'd be nice to see.
Sniff the ass crack of the playoffs. this
Yeah,
year.
right.
Try to help.
I do want to, excuse me, got to give up some love to our sponsors. We're going to start off with Utica Hemp. Are you tired of living in pain? Medication doesn't seem to be working, or it leaves you in a fog? Try a natural, safer alternative with CBD from Utica Hemp. With everything from oil, full spectrum, and THC free, sorry. Topical CBD, THC, not TH free. CBD flower, which is, looks just like weed, but it's not, no THC. Dog treats. The Utica Hemp has, they got honey sticks.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of really cool stuff in there. So visit uticahempco.com or stop in one of their 4 locations. They just reopened one in Clinton, so now they got Herkimer, Utica, Clinton, and New Hartford. And speak to their knowledgeable staff about how CBD can help you. I'm telling you, these guys know their stuff.
They do.
Absolutely.
I saw them at Sickenburger during the when No Compliance played there.
Oh, Animal Jam?
Yeah, Animal Jam. I bought honey sticks off them. I actually went to the ATM because I didn't have enough money, something I never do, and got some of their coffee, which currently sits in my freezer. I'm going to ground it up on Christmas Day.
Nice.
Nice Christmas morning coffee from Utica Hemp.
Nice.
But they know their shit.
Oh, they do.
Oh, yeah.
They are very knowledgeable, and which is great because this whole CBD. I was in the gas station yesterday, and I look over, and on the counter there's CBD oil. But I'm like, how the hell do you know what you're buying? Like, you just grab off the counter. The girl behind the counter didn't even know how to sell me a lottery ticket. She's not going to know about CBD, you know. And then you got to look it up on the internet and figure out where you're buying from, where it's coming from. When you're going to go right to the Utica Hemp, talk to them, see what you need, how you should dose it, what works best.
You want people who know their stuff, and especially, it's kind of like generic quality food versus the good stuff. You don't want to be putting these processed terrible things into your body when you have right down into your own neighborhood somebody who's locally understanding and producing this stuff for you. So
absolutely,
you'd be silly to go any other route.
No, just go in there and even if you're just curious, go in there, stop and talk to them.
And the flowers in there are pretty freaking similar to the stuff you might find in a legal state.
They're really similar. And but Big Johnny, the night of the Animal Jam, tried some the flower, because we were talking on air and he goes, "Flower, what's that?" He never heard the term flower. He just weed or whatever. But you can't call it that because it's not. It's THC free.
Right.
And he tried it and he goes, "Oh my God," it relieved him of his pain.
Right.
And he was like, "This." He went and bought some. He goes, "This, I'm a believer."
That's awesome.
And it's great because and if you ever suffer from pain or hard time sleeping or inflammation like I do,
anxiety, all that stuff.
Those old people aches and soreness,
and you go in there and they're going to give you what you need. They'll be able to direct you. Whereas somebody in a gas station, like you said, is just going to say, "Hey, I don't know. It's supposed to help with all this shit. Just figure it out."
And I tried that chaga tea. I made some chaga tea. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a mushroom, the Adirondack chaga, and it has so many antioxidants and it's so good for you. Fights cancer, shit like that. Yeah, we prepped it up, and I like it. It tastes really good. Almost has almost more of a coffee flavor than a tea flavor.
Really?
But it's really good. You get these big chunks, and you just boil them in. I boiled twice off the same chunks because you just put them back, put them in the fridge, and then take them back out and reboil them. And I like it. I think it tastes great. It gives me some energy. They sell that there as well. So I every time I go in there, I try resisting buying stuff.
Right.
But yeah, check them out. That's uticahempco.com. And like I said, stop in one of their locations in Utica, Herkimer, New Hartford, and Clinton. So let's get back to some of your points that you wanted, some of your bullet points.
Yeah. Just kind of sticking to the injury thing and just how Flacco might have his issues. We'll see where the team goes with that. Last week, pretty hectic game to watch. I really enjoyed it. Deshaun Watson somehow magically takes a friggin' cleat to the eyeball, throws the game-winning pass with one eye. 6 minutes left in the fourth.
Dude, that guy is amazing.
I know. It's a
that play
freakish how athletic he is.
He almost gets sacked, gets up, gets out of it. You're like, how the hell do you?
Spins around, faces near the ground. Defender kicks him right in the square in the friggin' eye.
Yeah, and he's going down again and just wings it.
One eye.
And throws it dead on.
Yeah.
And for a touchdown. And you're like, how the hell did this kid do this?
Yep. Same game, though. You lose J.J. Watt.
Yep. Again.
Which, man, how many times can you rebuild that guy?
Right. He's like the Gronk of the defense.
Yeah.
Super awesome. Super great when he's on the field. But always getting hurt.
Yeah. And your body can only take so much, you know? So it leads me to, I haven't read any reports of Watson not playing, but obviously you lose Jadeveon Clowney. Now you're out J.J. Watt again. Your defensive ends are lacking. You got new guys stepping in. If Deshaun Watson's out, hopefully, I don't know, hopefully they can get it together. It's just going to be, that's another team I think is really on the precipice. They're either going to teeter toward a losing season or a winning season. It could go either way. And these, big losses like that, it could really set them back. So I'm interested to see how this game goes because they're playing, let's see, the Jags, right? So
Most fun division to watch.
they're favored. They're 1.5 favor. So we'll see.
I losing J.J. Watt's huge, but we haven't really called his name much this year.
That's true.
Like he's kind of had a modest season, but like that's because he's in and out of injury so much. I think it's taken a toll. But they've learned how to play without him because he's been injured so much. They've learned how to play without him. So I don't know how much of a factor that's going to be right now.
Yeah. It could go either way.
Well
certainly.
coached defense too. You got Romeo still there, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Cornell.
Yep.
So yeah, next man up.
Yep.
Granted, this man is a superstar, but yeah, he's been a little quieter.
And like you said, like we were saying, because he's been out, so that kid behind him, that's waiting to get out on the field could be,
That's true.
You can't really bench J.J. Watt, so that kid up behind him is like hungry.
Yeah.
So this hopefully he could fill his shoes.
Yeah.
So you guys want to get into some of these picks?
Yeah, sure, dude.
Now it still gave you the scores, right? Where were the tally?
Yeah. Yep. Still, I'll throw your picks around here, even though I probably disagree with a few of them. But
well, he's okay. So
yeah, let's talk about last week. So last week, Sil and Caleb both went 12-3.
Bastards.
And I think you went one last, right? 11-4.
11-4.
All right. Not bad, chicken.
No.
Your chicken got a little choked, that's all.
Yeah, I got a little choked up.
I don't know. This week has a lot of games that are really good matchups. Not tonight, obviously, but there's a lot of really good competition.
So you'd say Houston, the Houston Indy game got me.
Yeah.
The Houston Indy game got me. I think I went Houston on that one.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah. That one burned me. And same thing with that's a couple weeks ago.
Yours are right. Oh no, yeah.
That was a couple weeks ago. I'm looking at the wrong one.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, it was
the Colts Broncos 15-13. You said Houston. Let's see.
No, that was the wrong one. Yeah, it was
Raiders,
Kansas City and Green Bay, bastards.
Yeah.
That one burned me right there. And then I was no way I was picking Patriots over Cleveland. Yeah, that's the one that really threw me off. That and I picked the Giants over Detroit. But
I did too.
I didn't have a lot of faith in that. But
yeah.
Detroit's one of those teams I can't get a beat on.
Yeah.
Like the Eagles. They 1 minute they're a tough team. Next minute they're losing to somebody that you thought they would beat.
That's kind of the story of Detroit, though. You know?
They've
always been pretty mediocre. And
but this is the time of year that they usually lay down, though.
Yeah.
For some reason, I really want to see Patricia do well.
Which
is weird coming from a Bills fan, but I think it might be the beard. To be honest, I don't know. For some
not
reason,
a local Sherrill, New York.
Is he?
Yeah. That's where
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, VVS.
If you drive into the town, there's a fucking plaque there and everything.
I haven't been there in years.
Matt Patricia lived here. We love him.
Unless I'm getting there Chinese.
No, like I said, a lot of good games coming up though. So, obviously tonight, can we all agree? The Niners are a 10-point.
What'd you call it before we went on here? A bloodbath?
It's going to be a bloodbath.
That might be nice.
Yeah.
Playing it nicely.
Kyler Murray's got to learn, I guess. It's going to be a rough first season for him.
I think the Niners defense and Bosa. Bosa's playing like a beast.
He is so beastly, dude. That whole family, obviously. It's crazy to see like the Watts and the Bosas, families that produce these defensive studs.
Sherman, Richard Sherman was out there praising Bosa.
Yeah.
Praising, saying like this kid, we should be looking at him as MVP.
Let's go to Richard Sherman for a second. He flipped the script, man. He used to be the most pompous asshole in football. Of all people, you'd think he'd be in the spotlight, But, dude, he's like a team player. He's like, I saw this one interview with him. He's like, whoever doubted us from the beginning, don't get on our bandwagon now. We knew we had this. Everybody lost faith in us, and here we come. So what? Jimmy G went out last year, and we didn't do so hot. This year, they're proving it,
And that's one thing I feel like with Richard Sherman was always misconstrued. Yeah, he's a big mouth.
Yeah.
but you never heard anybody on his team say anything bad about him.
Because he could back it up.
He could back it up.
He
He was a team player.
Yeah.
Like when Marshawn Lynch didn't want to talk to the media, him and Doug Baldwin went and took the podium in his defense.
Right.
And be like, this dude doesn't want to talk.
Yeah.
And
That's it.
he always and I questioned that pickup. Like going from San Fran, we all remember the whole big Crabtree issue.
Yes.
Back in the day.
Yep. Not that long ago, actually.
No, it wasn't that long ago. But now you're looking at a guy who's a veteran leader. Who's got a Super Bowl ring, who has played in a division for his whole career.
Yep.
And that team rallies around him. And you want to talk about the AFC South. I mean, look at the NFC West. The NFC West is a good division.
Very good.
Arizona's a shit team in that division, but
they're still exciting to watch.
They're still 3-3-1, right?
Right. And now you got, the 49ers, the Seattle Seahawks, and then
The Rams.
LA Rams, the returning NFC champs. So, man, that's a strong division. You almost feel bad for the Arizona Cardinals.
I know.
Because if they were in the East,
The odds are stacked against them.
like if they're still in the East, they'd probably be right up there fighting for number one.
Yeah.
And, wow. So that's a great division to watch for.
I know. And they have a few hard games. They got Baltimore, the Seahawks again, and they have some good games. The Niners I'm talking about coming up. So, like you said earlier, testing their grit. I think this is when we start seeing it.
So you guys are picking for Caleb and Sill, so you guys are going
Right. So Sill is
Arizona.
picking the Arizona Cardinals by 30 points.
Now pick for yourselves, guys.
I got you.
49ers. That's easy.
Niners. Sill also picked the Niners.
Yeah. And also, so did Caleb. Caleb sent his picks online.
Okay.
So Caleb also picked the San Francisco. Then we got the Jaguars versus Houston Texans. I like this game.
There's some sneaky good games.
Yeah, like the Minshew kid. Like this kid's got this team rallying.
Yeah.
And getting rid of Jalen Ramsey, getting rid of that headache. Now this team could just buckle down and move forward.
Right.
I like their chances. I just don't think they're going to beat Houston. I like Houston all the way is like a better team all the way around. They get way too many weapons.
Yeah. I think, again, it's going to be kind of a game time decision. Hopefully Deshaun Watson's eye is okay. And I really like the connection he's got with his tight end Fells over there. That kid's been really shining in the light these past few weeks. But on the other side of the coin, Jacksonville, like you said, they have the momentum. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the game. I don't think it's at 1 p.m. I believe this is at 9:30 in London. So John wrote it down as 1, but I'm pretty sure that's the London game. So
anything can happen then.
Exactly. It's not at home. You're overseas. Maybe Uncle Rico wants to shine for the old Brits. I'm gonna go with my gut and what I did earlier in the pool that I run, and I'm gonna say the Jags. I think they got some issues on the defense. A little bit of younger dudes stepping in. I think they have wide receiver issues, but killer running game. The quarterback's on it. Let's see what they can do.
Well, that's it with the running game too. Is
Leonard Fournette?
Yeah, Fournette.
Nasty.
You get Fournette going without J.J. Watt. Again, I don't know who his replacement is, but that's big shoes to fill, and especially going against Leonard Fournette, who could really just beat the piss out of a defense.
Yeah.
But I see your point.
Yeah,
it's hard to argue.
Right.
I go quarterback for quarterback. I have to.
You got to
the
take
edge,
Watson. Yeah, I get that.
And wide receivers, I got to go with that crew over there in Houston.
Hopkins,
and
Fells,
Fuller.
yeah.
Well, Fuller's out, right?
Yeah.
He's full up.
But that Fells kid, he's a nasty tight end. I'd like to see where he goes with his career.
Stills kid, Stills from they got from Miami.
Kenny Stills.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
what do you think, Stu?
I'm going Texans. It's hard because the London effect, as I like to call it.
Yeah, that's it.
Because terrible teams could be great teams could be terrible, or they could both just suck and need to go drink some tea with the queen. I don't know. But I'm going Texans.
All right.
I'm going with the fact that Deshaun Watson will be there, although they are a team where I don't necessarily think that he's a major contributor, but against a team that, while the Jaguars are intriguing, they should be able to, if this was in the States, the Texans should be able to take care of the Jaguars by this point in the season.
Gotcha.
So I'm still going to go with the Texans. So
okay.
Next game, you can probably figure out who I'm going with, but I digress. I'll let
I don't think anybody's going to pick the Redskins over the Bills at this point.
Wait, the Redskins are bad?
I'm going to pick the Redskins, actually.
You're going to pick the Redskins?
Yeah, as long as they start Case Keenum and just give the ball to Adrian Peterson and Darius Geis the entire game.
I still wouldn't give.
No.
Still wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like, that Buffalo defense is stymie them like nothing.
I know.
How nice is it to have like just defensive football back?
Yes, I like
love
it.
Seriously.
I love-
Especially in Buffalo, and people are forgetting.
It's going to be wet too.
It's
going to
be wet and cold and snowy and muddy, and that favors a Buffalo strong defense better.
Yeah, you could argue that about last week, because last week it was kind of rainy and muddy. It was more windy than anything, I think. But yeah, you have to be able to play in those conditions if you are on a Buffalo team.
And the Redskins
And they're
showed a few
rolling.
weeks ago they cannot play in the rain.
No, they cannot.
or in the sun, or like.
Or the snow,
Sorry,
or
Larry.
indoor
Sorry,
arena
Larry.
ball.
Yeah, they can't play indoors. They can't play outdoors. So we're all in agreement.
Yeah,
Buffalo.
Pretty easy.
Please.
This one's kind of more of a middle of the road. Carolina Panthers versus the Tennessee Titans. Panthers are at home.
Yep.
Titans are not starting Mariota, right?
There's not much of travel there. Tennessee to Carolina is not a
Right.
big lot of, a whole lot of travel, so that doesn't play a factor. I think fan wise, I don't think that's going to play a factor because Titans are going to travel. It's close enough where they can make that game.
I know what is a factor. Getting your ass whooped by the Niners, and you're at home against the Titans, who aren't looking so hot.
Yeah. That's it. Motivating factor. And I do like that Kyle Allen kid. He's been putting up numbers.
Yeah, but Tannehill's been playing.
Yeah.
Tannehill has been balling, man. Like they
Another guy who got stifled in a shitty team in Miami, and he wants to make a name for himself.
now he's got a better coach. He's got a better team around him. I said it when they put him in. They're like, "Oh, Tannehill, like maybe this kid needed
That's
a change."
exactly what everybody said about Fitzpatrick in Tampa, and the fucker went Fitzmagic on people. 500 yards for 3 games
I
straight.
love that, man. I can't hate him. Love Fitzy.
Him and Josh McCown are like the consummate pros in my mind. Like you need a guy that remember years ago it was Steve DeBerg and oh crap, there was another one. All the time they ended up at every different team. They played for so many teams, but they were always that guy that you could depend on.
Yeah.
Like that backup that was they knew they were a backup.
Yeah, exactly.
I like throw Byron Leftwich's name out there.
Byron
talking about
Charlie Batch.
Yeah, Charlie. I love Charlie.
Charlie Batch was great. I thought he got a raw deal. I always say that, because he was with the Lions and he obviously was backing up in Pittsburgh for like 35 years. So who are you guys going with this?
Carolina.
I
MVP's not hurt, is he?
Who?
Freaking Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, no, he's fine.
Yeah, MVP.
He's a stud.
Just took a shellacking.
Greg Olson's a stud. DJ Moore's a stud. Curtis Samuels? Yeah, Curtis Samuels, the other wideout, stud. Luke Kuechly, stud. I love them all. They're all guys who are getting their footing, and I think Carolina's a team to fuck with next year.
Yeah.
I don't wonder if even Cam Newton's going to get his job back probably, but when he comes back,
I hope not.
Kyle Allen's
he's not
been
hurt.
proving himself.
Cam's not hurt.
I don't hate Cam Newton, but
Why is he not? They're benching him. I thought he was still dealing with his injury.
I guess from what I heard, he's
My man, he's still on
still
injured. Still injured.
recovering. I guess
he's like Jalen
Once
Ramsey
they start
being
losing,
sick.
he wants to become play Super Cam again.
I'm going Titans.
You're going Titans.
I'm going Titans with this. I feel because, like you just said, they got their asses handed to them by the 49ers. So they might still be reeling on that and feeling like the
Panthers,
hangover from that.
Okay.
And then they're brought back down to reality. And they got some film now. So now the Titans have a whole week of film of how they just got their asses handed to them.
Right.
But I like Tannehill in a new setting. I like him with a better coach. I think he's going to be much more productive. I'm going with Titans on this one.
Okay, that's respectable.
All right.
I will say the Panthers are.
Don't cry when you're 11-4
3.5
next
favorite,
week.
or whatever.
I hope I'm 11-4. That'd be a good one.
All right. The god awful Bears versus the pretty awful Eagles.
I hate to do it, but I'm going Eagles.
Are you? They're -5 here. That's the Vegas line.
Yeah.
So
I think former Bears, Alshon Jeffrey and Jordan Howard are gonna pick up their game and
do the old 1-2 on them.
Yep.
And they're visiting Philly, so
And they got Darby back last week against the Bills too, because their secondary was looking pretty depleted. So getting him back helped.
And Matt Nagy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
No.
He has no clue. He's like, I didn't even think about going for it on that down. I didn't even think about it. What if we intercepted? What if we fumbled? What if you missed a goddamn kick?
like you've historically done.
Right. Like speaking of this Philly-Chicago game, that's what lost the playoffs.
Yeah.
Is missing the goddamn kicks.
Yep.
So what in the world gives you that faith that this kicker is going to do it for you? A rookie, of all things.
Yeah.
Nothing's been stable over there.
Yep.
You finally, like I brought up before, you finally got your quarterback moving the ball and playing well. I don't care if you just take it and I'm a purist. When it comes to football, I'm like, run the ball.
Yep.
Right.
Be strong. But in that instance, when he just scrambled, what did he get? Like 15 yards on that last scramble that he made?
Something like that.
Line those guys back up, right? Line them back up. Play action pass. Play action roll out. They're already backed up. They don't know
Right.
what the hell you're doing.
Right.
They were in pass defense, and you just ran it down
They
the
just
throat.
ran back to try and get into position. You got them on their heels, like you said earlier, you know?
Play action, suck in that defense.
Launch it.
Run, bootleg it. So that way, if it's not there, you could just take off and run for the sidelines.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you still could play for the field goal. But take a chance down at that touchdown.
Yep.
Not only because for the win that game, but to give your offense some confidence going into this Philly game. Because they have none. They have none. And Matt Nagy doesn't know what he's doing. He finally got some production out of the run game, but it's like the styles that he's running, the way he's running the ball, it just...
And everybody's ragging on Trubisky now, and I don't think he realizes that he's putting a lot of pressure on Trubisky. And this is supposed to be your guy. You traded up to get him, and you're just dropping the weight of the
Burying
world on
him.
him. You're burying him.
You're kind of triple, not to be a wrestling podcast, you're kind of Triple H golden shovel burying. Yeah, a little bit.
And you look at what Philly did when they brought in Carson Wentz.
Right.
You know what I mean? They still had a strong running game. They still were dedicated to run short passes and stuff. They're trying to say, well, the Bears don't run that much because their passing game is an extension of the run game. Bullshit it is.
Yeah,
bullshit.
seriously.
It has not worked.
Yeah.
It has not worked to this day at all. So, no, that's bullshit.
And
Run
coming
the ball.
from a Bears fan who you can't even see the patterns because they're so all over the place, that's saying something. You know, lifelong fans are recognizing it's just chaos over there. You're not getting, oh, here they go, run. Oh, this is going to be a play action. Oh, they're probably going to pass here. Like, usually a good team, you got to get, if you follow them and they're your team, you can get where they're going with it. The Bears are like, all right, we're just going to kick it, I guess.
And Trubisky said, we have no identity. And he's right. They don't. They have
Perfect
none.
way of putting it.
And it's just you're trying to make this kid be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Trying to make him be Deshaun Watson because you went up and got him, but that's not who he is.
Right.
And like real back, you got a good running game, you got a strong defense, and you got some good wide receivers and some, I think, 2 stud tight ends, but you're not using them right. How do you go from what he did last year to Pro Bowl season to shit in the bed right now? And Matt Nagy was hired to make him better, and he's not doing his job.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
It's I put more on Nagy than I do on Trubisky, but they both need to get better.
So all taking the Eagles or
And look for Khalil Mack on a milk carton. I have not seen that dude do anything
know.
this year. He's absent. He's gone.
another one, yeah.
He got his money. Like play. You played
One
good last year.
stellar season, MVP worthy season, and then he's goodbye.
And he was gone in that playoff game against Philly. Like towards the end of that game, you didn't see him at all. And that's when your superstars are supposed to pick up.
Absolutely.
So yeah, unfortunately, I have to go with the Eagles.
As do I. Looking at this game on the schedule, like if it was before the season, I would have been really interested.
Right.
Revenge game for the Bears.
I'd say probably the Bears, you know,
You know what I
but
They haven't shown me anything.
it's a new team, yeah, seriously.
So we're all going Eagles, right?
We're all going Eagles.
This game's going to be a little bit better. This game, like back in the 90s, was a really great game. Kansas City and the Minnesota Vikings. They're playing at home in Kansas City. Kansas City just coming off that tough loss against Green Bay. And Minnesota just, walking the park with the Redskins.
Yeah.
So
I tell you, I did not see Minnesota coming up. You know, they're the 3rd highest yard producer in the football right now. Kirk Cousins been slinging the ball. You're seeing Dalvin Cook jam it down people's throats. Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, Kyle Rudolph.
they were so close to falling apart.
I know.
Diggs saying he wanted out.
And you know what? I think it was Cousins. I think Cousins is finally becoming a QB. He looked past the money and he's like, damn, I got to earn it. I don't know if that's really what's going on, but it seems like he's got a little bit better hold of the team.
Well, then probably different play calling too. Play to his strengths as well.
Of course.
So where you headed in this game?
The Chief. I'm not going to bag on Matt Moore either.
Is Mahomes playing?
No, I don't believe so. No. As far as what I read before coming on here, he was not. Matt Moore, though, I mean, he's doing decent.
You got to give that dude credit, man.
390 yards or something, 3 or 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's an older guy. He's making it work.
An older guy in a system that is really fit for a younger guy's game.
For sure.
And, I mean, fast paced, having to move around a little bit. I'm impressed with the way Matt Moore's played.
100%.
As far as a backup goes, I mean,
He's what you want.
Yeah.
He comes in and he wins. He took the Dolphins to the playoffs.
Yeah.
He came Carolina, right?
This dude, he's one of those guys that you dog on him, but he's been on some bad teams.
Yeah.
He's been on some really bad teams, but right now he looks really good.
Yeah.
I feel like they're stable with him. They could keep afloat, and that's kind of why I'm going with Kansas City in this.
It's
game.
at Arrowhead too, which is a big factor, but
they got weapons, man.
They do. They have. I mean, he's
So do the
throwing into
Vikings.
one of the best tight ends. He's throwing into Tyreek Hill, one of the
Kelsey,
fastest.
Tyreek Hill.
And who's that kid that last week that was just balling out?
You got Sammy still, right?
Watkins, yeah.
Sammy
you got
Watkins and-
that was my other treat, was LaShawn
don't
McCoy
remember.
going to
The kid
Chiefs, by the
that
way.
he caught that 75-yarder.
Yeah.
I don't even remember his name.
I can't either.
It just they said he's not as fast as Tyreek Hill, but he's really close.
Yeah. God, I can't think of his name. It's right. I know
And
exactly.
he just came out of nowhere. I'm like, wow, where the hell did this come from? And then you go, oh yeah, they got LaShawn McCoy.
right.
Yeah, he's
I mean, they
another
have the
treat
weapons.
I was going to go with, by the way. Him going back to the Chiefs, back to Andy Reid.
Yeah,
I love seeing it.
in that system, perfect system for him.
It's
He doesn't have to do everything.
Right.
So it's perfect.
He's that complimentary piece, like you said. You got Kelsey and Hill and that other dude. I can't remember his name.
but guys who you throw it within their vicinity, they'll catch it.
Yeah.
They'll do something with it.
Watkins, and then you bring. Oh yeah, I got LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah.
and that dude could hit you. He can hurt you on running and in the passing game. So
It's interesting because when I was just about to say who I'm going to pick, I started weighing out who would I pick in each instance. Kirk Cousins versus Matt Moore. I got to go Cousins. He knows what he's doing. Dalvin Cook versus LaShawn McCoy. I'm honestly going the young stud. Dalvin Cook's been putting up the numbers. You're talking Adam Thielen versus Sammy Watkins. I'm taking Adam Thielen. Stephon Diggs versus Tyreek Hill. It's a little tighter. You get where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Kyle Rudolph versus
Yeah.
Travis Kelce. It's like, holy shit, this is a
I would go Kelsey on that one.
Right, but these are
Yeah.
teams where they're trading. They have the values to trade off on each other. You know what? Just
But I
to go
think
against the grain, I'm going Vikings.
I think with the Chiefs, it's those guys, like I said, the kid that we can't remember his name.
It's good job.
It's those guys
Gotta look it up.
that make the difference.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go out there and say Kansas City's defense against Green Bay was on fire. They played really, really good against
Demarcus Robinson.
There it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
That kid is lightning. And
He is quick.
he was fast and he balled. And that defense was rattling Aaron Rodgers. What they get, like 4 sacks in the game?
Which is
It was-
weird because the Chiefs, their defense hasn't been great.
But you got to think about it, though. Like, typically teams that have that high-powered offense have crappy defenses because teams are coming up from behind, so they're passing more.
Right.
So they give up more points. Green Bay really wasn't throwing up a lot of points, so that team really that defense was just pinning their earbacks and going after them. And I
Yeah.
thought they played great.
Yeah.
Which showed a lot of promise.
It was a hell of a shootout, too.
Yeah, that was a
just
fun
good
game.
to see. The slinging the ball.
I just really wish it was Patrick Mahomes back there because I think it would have been a different game. Not to take anything from Moore. I think he played an awesome game. I think Matt Moore played a great game. But Patrick Mahomes is beyond great. I mean, this dude is just pulling, horseshoes out of his ass almost every game.
Absolutely.
And going against a guy like Aaron Rodgers, the bar set. Like we seen it a couple years ago when Russell Wilson and not Sammy Watkins, Deshaun Watson went at it.
Yeah.
And Watson elevated his game, throwing shit like you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that with Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. Like have these two boys like balling it out. Hopefully we get to see it again soon, but
So I took the Vikings. So what are you guys taking? The Chiefs then?
I'm going Chiefs.
I'm going Vikings.
My man.
Yeah.
Stu's on the
Nope.
wagon.
Vikings, they're on a 3-game win streak after all that internal chaos that happened.
Yep.
If it was Mahomes,
Right.
I'd be changed to the Chiefs.
Right.
Most likely.
I think the Vikings have what it takes to come into Arrowhead and put a whooping down. So
I do
we'll
as
see.
well.
We'll see. You
But I
know
even
why
have to-
too? Because in every game I underestimate them and they put up big numbers. So
I hear you.
I'm sick of doing that.
I hear you. I don't think they're unable to beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead. I just, I think that the Chiefs got more weapons. Mm-hmm. So I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm not, because I hate the Vikings as well.
You guys start this pick. I got to get more beers.
Actually, while you do that, I am going to say go to EJA Moving for all your professional movers at 315-335-0516. Hey, can you grab me one? Thank you, brother. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everyone to make it simple for you to move and relocate. EJAmoving.com. When it's time to relocate, EJA Moving will do all the work for you. That's EJA Moving, not EG Moving, as Silworth likes to call it. EJA Moving. Thank you, guys. And thank you for my Utica club.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. All right.
So, next game.
Coin flip.
Man, the battle.
Coin flip. Yeah, let's just get out of the way.
So,
I don't know what it says, but.
How can the referee screw up?
It's not what I thought it was. Okay, so Dolphins are at home. I don't think it really matters.
Against the friggin' Jets. Ooh.
It's magic, baby. Let's go, Dolphins.
Can I tell you another person who is just busting so hard is Sam Darnold. My man. What happened? The rest of his draft class was great. He got Baker in there too. But
I think he does okay. I think Darnold, but besides Le'Veon Bell,
yeah.
Like who? Now you got Demaryius Thomas. Like, so hopefully he can establish some sort of rapport with him.
Anderson.
Their defense is just atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
Like anybody, I don't know. People are just moving all over them, and they seem to have no qualms about it. Same with Miami. As soon as every week everybody keeps saying, they're gaining steam, they just get pummeled into the earth. I thought they looked good against Pittsburgh, Miami did. And then they were 14 up, and then they got pummeled into the earth, 27 whatever, 27-14 I think it finished. Yeah, they didn't put up another single point. We put up 27 unanswered, It's like both these teams are just, you wonder, are they just giving up? Is everybody there just quit?
I don't think the Jets are going to quit. I mean, we've seen them beat the Cowboys.
Right.
Which was a signature win for them, I think.
Put up all those points in the beginning and then just...
Yeah, see, that's the problem. They need to finish it out
Yep.
and learn how to ball out. But you look at teams like as a whole, I think the Jets have some positive things. I mean, I think this is a game that we might see Le'Veon Bell just go off.
I hope so, because he's been pretty quiet.
Like, if you're the Jets, like, that would be my focal point right now. Like, he's been pretty quiet. You got a shit team that you're playing against in the Dolphins that really have, again, no identity.
Right.
And keep it on the ground. Run it. You can run on this team.
Yeah.
And kill him with the short passes. And I would go through Le'Veon Bell. Like,
I want to see the video. I want to see the joystick back. I want to see the video game character come back to life.
Exactly.
Which he used to be. He used to be very...
And this is a game you could do it again. Like, you're not playing New England Patriots.
Right.
Which I feel like Adam Gase gets out-coached. And I think he's one of those guys like Nagy gets all caught up in his head.
He needs to just be a coordinator again.
Yeah, I think so, too.
We're going to just be honest.
I agree. McDermott, I love what McDermott's done over there. So, like,
I was a big fan of that hire, but
in Miami's Dolphin coach, he's not really showing me much either. So, I guess I got to go with the Jets because I think the Jets have the better chance of winning. Going to Miami doesn't scare anybody. It's not, for the Jets, it's like a vacation.
It's just Bang Bros bus or something, right?
Yeah. No, that was the Vikings, wasn't it?
No, I think it was Miami. Yeah.
I have no idea.
No. Back in the day, Minnesota got in trouble for being on a boat cruise, and they had a bunch of hookers.
Yep.
And
it was right before playoff.
It was right before playoffs. Yeah, it was bad.
I was talking about in Miami this season, the Bang Bros bus, the brand Bang Bros bus, was parked outside in all the tailgating for like a couple weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they were like porn stars inviting people in for
they should go to Buffalo.
Photo ops. Yeah, I know, right? Do some shots out of the butt cracks.
Nice.
I'll be honest. It could go either way. I think both teams just need a lot of work. They suck so bad right now. But I did see potential in Miami last week. I think Fitzmagic is still there a little bit, smoldering. I can't believe they got rid of Kenyon Drake.
It's not butter.
What'd you say?
It's not butter.
I can't believe they got rid of Kenyon Drake, one of the only guys who's trying to produce and trying to do well for the
Everything
team.
Must go.
Yeah,
and now that I said that out loud, I'm actually going to take back my guess. I was going to go with Miami, and I'm like, wow, they just made a bunch of stupid ideas. So I'm going to say New York. Yeah, screw it.
This is my one that I'm changing because I actually did have Miami picked, and then I forgot about Kenyon Drake.
Right.
Not that he was necessarily an every down
John,
type
if you're
of guy.
listening, I
but
did an RE.
You know what? My oldest brother Kit, who knows more about soccer than he does football, is a giant Jets fan. So
Oh, nice.
I'll go with the Jets.
Caleb would be proud today.
Yeah.
All the Jets picking, but I mean,
For
come
once,
on.
once in the season.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I wouldn't have picked him in week 1.
Well, probably twice. They play him twice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a shit game. Steelers versus the Colts. Steelers are at home. Is James Conner going to play in this game? I thought I
did hear that he's going to.
Is he? Okay.
Yes.
Does that matter? That
A
Colts
little
defense
bit.
is pretty good.
Colts defense is good. Mm-hmm. They got weapons. I'm on a toss up on this one myself. You know, obviously being a diehard Steelers fan, I think Mason Rudolph, like I said, as soon as it's a good team to do it against, but as soon as he got in the groove against Miami on Monday Night Football, he started throwing the ball well. Second half, what happened was I saw the crowd boo him. Did you guys see the boo? The awful boo that came.
No, I just seen it when Trubisky comes out.
End of the first quarter or something, or maybe it was the end of the second. The whole crowd just starts booing Mason
dude,
Rudolph.
I know I feel your pain.
Pummeling him into the earth.
End of the first half at the Bills last week, or against Miami. I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Just boo.
It's Miami, and everybody expects you to do well against them. And he even talked about it in his after the game interview, and he's like, I just use that as motivation, essentially. And he's starting to shake off the cobwebs. Obviously, you take a chin to helmet concussion and like you knock yourself clean out and you're out for a few weeks. That does something to you. I think he got his groove back against a nice, easy team. I think they come back. You got James Conner, you got Nate Washington, you got Edmonds behind them and Nix and all these guys. I don't know. I hate to lose faith. I do think the Colts defense is solid, but they're at home. I'm gonna have to say Pittsburgh.
Wow.
I know. As much as I am losing faith in them.
What a mark.
I'm not going to do it now. Not going to do it now.
Stu, who you going?
I'm going. I think they are possibly the most well-rounded and all-around team in football.
Oh,
That's the
Pittsburgh
Colts.
Steelers. Nice.
No. I mean, quarterback check, offensive line check. Got an offensive line, you're going to have a running game.
Yeah.
I would hope. So check.
Marlon Mack, right?
Yeah,
Yep, Marlon
doing
Mack. Receivers,
T.Y.
good.
Hilton.
Defense, good. T.Y. Yeah, I'm going Colts.
I am going Colts as well. For the same reason of like well-rounded.
Yeah.
Like you hit it on the head with that, and you forget coaching too. Like Frank Reich is such a great coach that we talked about earlier, and Brissett showing that he's actually a QB that's here to stay, and somebody to worry about.
Yeah.
And some of the moves, stuff that he's been doing, it's been unreal that you didn't expect it. I say Colts. I think the Steelers just at this point, you know, look at the teams they beat: Cincinnati, Miami. Like and like you said, Miami was even getting them a little bit of trouble.
That's it.
And Cincy for a little bit, like I mean, they end up blowing them out. But you're like, when's the Pittsburgh Steelers going to show up? And I just think this is that type of year. Every once in a while, they get that year. Big Ben gets hurt, and you just like, all right, we're done.
Right.
And we're going to just reload for next year. And I think they're kind of almost already there.
I think they have a little bit of a tougher schedule coming up, and I'm hoping they got to be saying to themselves, let's not get a losing season. You know, when's the last time the Steelers have had a losing season?
I mean, let's face it. Really, if it was possible, you could be looking at 3 teams coming out of the AFC South
With losing seasons.
Well, I'm just saying, like, no, on the South.
Oh.
When you got Jags,
Indy,
and Houston, like all 3 of those teams playing tough.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a shame that one of them will get edged out. But then you look at like he said, Baltimore's really the only team that's been balling.
Yeah, seriously.
And I don't know. I just don't have a lot of faith in them right now. So Indy, I think, is a team that's hungry, and they're starting to realize what they have.
I agree.
And I
do agree.
It's scary to see what happens with that.
I kind of got to disagree with this Vegas line. I mean, I know the Colts are visiting, but Colts by 1?
I know.
If it was Big Ben Steelers, I would say okay.
Yeah.
That's true.
Big difference. Let's move. So Steelers, Indy. Then we're gonna go Oakland Raiders and Detroit Lions. In the beginning of the year, I'd be like, oh, here's a scrub fest.
Yeah.
But the Lions have showed that they're actually a pretty good team.
The Raiders are sneaky.
Yeah, and the Raiders are sneaky good.
They don't absolutely suck for once.
No, like they're They're playing sound football.
Yeah.
Great lines, offensive and defensive lines are pretty stout. No glaring like superstar, I mean,
Yeah, Jacobs getting the
Jacobs is-
future.
he's
in the
definitely
future.
shaping.
He could be.
Yeah. And Derek Carr is playing much better.
He's throwing a Tyrell Williams, another guy putting up numbers.
This is a more evenly matched
My
game
buddy
than
Phil's real high on him.
Yeah, me too. I loved him in LA.
This is more evenly matched. Like Amendola, I forgot Amendola was on the Lions.
Yeah.
So like this
and Kenny Galladay and I mean, both teams have a couple weapons. So
I think this is a more evenly matched game than I originally would have thought, and like more interesting. Like I think this could be a pretty good game.
Yep.
I mean, Oakland's at home. Man, every time I go against the Lions, they hurt me.
I know.
Every time I root on the Raiders, they hurt me. So I'm going to go Lions.
I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm going to pick the Raiders. Just win, maybe. But I'm just jumping in and take that before you go, Zach, because I got used to the pisser.
I feel you.
Gotta go, man.
I think, like I said, we both had those offensive weapons on each team. But I think if I were to give a slight edge to either team, I'd say maybe the Lions' defense is a little better, a little bit.
But the Oakland Raiders defense has definitely stepped up.
Oh my God, yeah, it's a shadow of its former shitty self.
And everybody was dogging on picking up Gruden. You're starting to see what he's doing.
Yeah,
and he's still got equity to use.
Absolutely.
So now they got a good core of a team. Now it's just adding some pieces that fit that team, like superstar type pieces. And they were looking at a scary team.
I tell you what, man, I'm like really back and forth on this one. I want to pick the Raiders.
It's not an easy choice. I reluctantly picked the Lions.
I'm going to go with... Oh, shit. I guess I'll go with the Raiders at home because, honestly, I could feel either way about either one of these teams. So I seem to be favoring the home teams this week. I'll just stick with the Raiders.
So you're going Raiders?
Yeah. 2 Raiders, 1 Lion.
That's a tough call.
Oh, wait. Let me check up on Sills here in case anybody's out there wondering. So Sill had the Niners winning over the Cardinals, Texans over the Jags, Bills over the Redskins. So he's pretty on par with all of us. Panthers over the Titans, Eagles over the Bears. He did pick the Chiefs over the Vikings, so I'll disagree with you there. He picked the Jets to beat the Dolphins, the Colts to beat the Steelers, and the Raiders to beat the Lions. So he's pretty close to all of our...
And Caleb went San Fran, Houston, Buffalo, Kansas City, the Jets, of course. He picked Philly over the Bears, of course. Indy. He's picking Carolina, so he's going to lose there. And then he picked Oakland.
Wow. Okay.
So
pretty on par.
It's surprising how many people are picking Oakland now.
I know.
Before the beginning of the year, we're like, they're trash, they're garbage.
Isn't it weird how the perception of the Browns and the Raiders has switched?
Mm-hmm.
You know, in less than 8 weeks.
Yep. Browns are overhyped, and the Raiders are like underhyped.
Exactly. Everybody thought they'd be and the whole season would go to a loss again. But yeah. All right. The next one. I mean, you guys already know who I'm taking here.
Which one are we on?
We're on the Seahawks, Bucks.
You're going Bucks?
The Bucks, 100%, baby.
Nah, Seahawks. Sea chickens.
I mean, like I said, Russell Wilson, MVP style year, man. The guy's still putting up numbers. He's still running.
I've been asking a lot of people this, and it's funny the reactions I get. Is Russell Wilson an elite quarterback?
What?
Is he an elite quarterback?
Elite.
Yes.
100%.
100%.
Easy.
100%.
And I
He's
said
too short. Shut up.
And people are like, oh, he's lucky, he's this. And I'm like, every time you pick Seahawks,
Luck is made, dude.
You Russell Wilson's in your brain.
Yep.
He's willing them to win every single time. He's been doing it since he started. And like Patrick Mahomes is another version of Russell Wilson. I feel like he mimics him a lot, like the way he plays, the style, and he reminds me a lot of Brett Favre. Mm-hmm. Scrambling around, throwing
game changer,
Yeah, and just like putting the team on his back, and I mean, every year we're talking about guys coming out of obscurity that like he made good. And again, if you got a minute or 30 seconds left in the game, and you got the ball in Eli Manning's hands or Russell Wilson's hands,
Russell Wilson
all day long.
Mile.
All day long. And there's a few guys like, Philip Rivers, you feel kind of confident, but like Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers.
Say it.
Tom Brady.
There it is.
Ryan Fitzpatrick. No, I'm just kidding.
You gonna say it? There it is.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, 2011 against the Oakland Raiders 1 week and the New England Patriots the next week. Shootout comebacks, won both of them.
But I feel Russell Wilson's in that discussion.
Yeah,
And I just don't feel like he gets the love he deserves. But
You know what I think it is? It's that one blemish. It's the 1 yard line pass in the Super Bowl. That's the blemish, and everybody says he fucked up. I mean, obviously it was Pete Carroll, but that's the only
Worst
blemish
call
on his
there.
record, man. Other than that, he has pretty great years.
And Tampa Bay is a team. They remind me of the Atlanta Falcons. That team that, like, on paper has so many weapons and so many, like they think that it's a team to beat, and then they just fall apart.
Yeah.
And they'll score 40 points and still lose.
I attribute it to, a lot of this preseason jabber about Jameis Winston there. He had a lot going on personally. Now you don't hear about it. It's scrubbed. You never hear about Jameis Winston's personal life, just that he's performing poorly. I think you guys got something going on, man. I think he's got some issues in his own life.
I've been saying that
and it drags into his
But
football.
it's been that way since he was drafted.
That's true.
It's been that way.
They knew what they were getting.
Like the crab leg story, and then you have the him harassing a girl in an Uber. I mean, they always been there with this guy.
Poor Mike Evans.
Right?
I know, right?
I love Mike Evans, dude.
I know.
I don't want to call him underrated, but when you think of like number one receivers,
he should be in the convo.
Oh, absolutely.
He's like Larry Fitzgerald.
He's like Julio Jones.
Julio Jones.
Guys who will never
Amazing.
blossom because they will never have the right QB. You have Aaron Rodgers throwing any of them guys. They're in the Hall of Fame
Well, look
already.
at Kurt Warner when Kurt Warner was throwing to
Warner,
him in Bolden. I mean, they went to the Super Bowl, and
Yep.
they had a great team. They
Put
should
Evans on the Packers. And Devontae Adams. I'm just playing fantasy booker here, but it'd be sexy.
But like Tampa Bay, like Jameis Winston, like reminds me of Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Their attitude when things are great, they're high as a cloud, and they're
and they
happy.
are stellar.
And when they shit the bed,
Yeah.
it's just terrible. That whole team just goes in the tank.
Yep.
And I just think both players need out. I think they need to go back to another team where they have a strong coach that can coach them like an Andy Reid style coach or something that fits their play style.
You just answered my question.
What's
I was
that?
going to say, would you take Cam Newton to the Bears?
No.
Because of Nagy?
No. I think Nagy really wouldn't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
Also, I just feel like his demeanor and like his attitude wouldn't resonate with that team. There are a bunch of younger guys that are still trying to find themselves where like a young quarterback like Mitch Trubisky, if he starts playing well, like they play well with him, they grew with him. A guy coming like Cam Newton just coming in there, swinging his dick around saying that like, he's the best. And that's the kind of guy he is.
It's my favorite pastime.
Swinging your dick around.
I like this.
So I just don't feel like it would mesh well in that city either. They're not that like,
right.
Besides, Jim McMahon back in the 80s, but I feel like he did it in a whole different sense. He was more of a team guy.
Yeah.
At the same time, I wouldn't want to see that either one of those guys go to the Bears.
Just random hypothetical.
And it's been brought up.
Has it?
Cam Newton was in consideration of being traded to the Bears or something like that, and I couldn't see it. I'd rather get a younger guy. I like Silver brought up Dalton. Dalton going there. I would have taken Dalton in a trade where he maybe been like backing up Mitch Trubisky.
Right.
So if Trubisky went down, you got a guy that could come in and probably win you some games in like
Right.
in that aspect because Dalton's he's like in the mid of his career. I mean, he still got some stuff in his tank, but
He's on his way out.
I don't know if he's got battered wife syndrome.
I know.
Just too many hits.
He is. Yeah. Poor Andy Dalton.
Yeah, right. And then he got benched.
I know.
Yep.
He's like, just trade me
That's
then.
what I mean. Yeah.
Just let the guy go. He's
I know.
You know who their president is. They're not good. Remember Carson Palmer?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Dalton, you want to go to a different team? Retire. That's
Yeah.
what you're going to have to do.
It's like, dude, do this guy some favors.
Dude, do AJ Green some favors.
Another guy.
I was like, people were asking me, who would you want on the Bills? Because everyone knows I'm a big Bills fan. I was like, give me AJ Green.
I know,
mean, don't
seriously.
really, can do without him, but I mean, that would just, please.
AJ Green on the Bills
Bills?
would be great.
Electric. Yeah. Yep.
Be great because he's got that the leadership ability, and he's a great wide receiver. I think the Bills would be perfect. Then they should definitely look at him there in the offseason or whatever, try making a play for him or somehow. But
Seahawks all around.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So we're going Denver Broncos and Cleveland Browns.
The matchup we were talking about earlier. I tell you what, the battle of the bullshit here.
Into my high.
In
Does
the Mile
play a
High.
factor.
Yeah, it does.
We got
absolutely.
what was his name again? Brandon Allen. He's played 4 preseason games.
This is my insurance agent. He's right down on Riscony Boulevard. Brandon Allen. We played
Oh, I thought he worked at Mellow Subs. He was whipping up some pastrami on rye.
No, that's this Brandon Allen. That's going to play. He was bagging groceries.
You know what? I'd like to say that Baker Mayfield's probably going to even choke against this battered Broncos team, but I hope to God. I mean, Vegas pins him at -3. I got to take Cleveland and hope that they can do something here. Well, hopefully, maybe this kid produces something for Denver, but I don't know. I don't see it.
Did you see? Was it Chubb that ran? Like he had like a 50-yard.
It's friggin' pouring out.
50-yard run or something like that. It might even been more.
Chubb, yeah.
Yeah, and he fumbled it. And you're like,
Yeah.
"Dude,
There's a
that's-
55-yard run. He's on the 3 or 5 yard line, and then Jones from the Pats comes over and just
Right after the other.
That's
punches
so
it. Yeah.
Cleveland Browns.
2 fumbles from Chubb.
That's so Cleveland
You know,
Browns.
that first one wasn't really his.
Right,
So
right.
that got mule kicked out of his arm.
Seriously, but I mean Jones, he had no anticipation of tackling. He just went and punched it
Peanut
as hard
punch.
as he could.
The peanut punch
Yeah.
came out to hurt him.
That was awesome.
But man, I instantly thought of Ernest Biner.
Mm-hmm.
Back in was like 86, 87, something like that. Or no, it was earlier than that. It was I think 85 when 86 when they I think went against the Giants that year. Cleveland was about to run it in for the go-ahead touchdown, and Ernest Biner fumbled it right on the 1 yard line. Oh my God, that was brutal. But that just reminds me of Cleveland. They get so far.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you made such a great play, and then you fumbled it.
Fun fact: Belichick's first football win. Did you see this stat? First win was in Cleveland against the Patriots. His 300th win was against Cleveland with the Patriots.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 1 and 300 were the same matchups. Isn't that crazy?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you see the special they did for there's the Cleveland Browns 1996 coaching staff?
No, I didn't see that.
Check this out. It was Bill Belichick, Nick Saban.
1996 coaching staff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I knew Saban was there, but
Yeah, Belichick, Saban.
Coaching staff from '96.
What's his name from the? I always forget his name. The defensive coordinator for Philly right now.
Schwartz.
Yeah, Jim Schwartz was on
I was
that
hoping
team.
the Bills would keep him as.
There was like 5 or 6 coaches that did really well in like college or in the NFL. They're on that coaching staff. That you look at that coaching staff and you're like, holy shit! If they stayed there and they didn't pull out into to go to Baltimore, you're looking at a team that could have been poised for a dynasty. We could have been talking about the Cleveland Browns as the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
I mean that was seriously. You look at Belichick and Saban alone. Look at the wins that he got.
I know.
Championships.
I know.
Unbelievable.
All right, I'll let you guys discuss this. I gotta hit the can myself.
Who are you picking on this one?
Cleveland, baby.
Cleveland. I'm going Cleveland as well. I think they just got more talent than the Broncos, and I don't care. They're playing Mile High. I think Cleveland keeps it on the ground here.
Yeah, I was going the same thing. I said even though those 2 fumbles could dictate that this is a stupid reason to go, but I think Cleveland at Mile High run the ball. Just Nick Chubb is a beast. I like Nick Chubb a lot.
Yeah,
big fan. That's why last week really hurt me, especially because I hate the Patriots. But yeah, I think just keep pound the rock, man.
Pound it. And is so we're on week 9. Does Kareem Hunt come back? Wasn't he only suspended for the first
8 weeks?
8 weeks.
Yeah, but the first week back is always tricky to me.
And I think he's going to have probably be deactivated for to get practice and to get reacclimated to the team. But that's another thing we got to start looking at is Kareem Hunt coming back in the fold with Chubb running as well as he's been running. Kareem Hunt could also be a factor in the passing game.
Yep. Yeah, it's really. Let's take the Kansas City versus Vikings. What Zach was saying, like when you're comparing like players, and I couldn't even tell you, especially now that Sanders is gone from the Broncos. Like I can't even really tell you, like comparatively, like compare the Broncos running back to Chubb. I'm gonna take Chubb.
And like okay, you just say Odell Beckham and then Landry.
Yeah.
And there's nobody on the entire Denver team that even comes close besides Von Miller on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just to me the Cleveland Browns got way too much.
It's my last chance for the Browns.
Yes,
they
got
to
win
win here.
this game.
It's a fucking tsunami outside.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Holy
40-mile-per-hour winds is what they're calling for.
Yeah, folks, we're braving the elements to come bring you this great footage. So
That's
I
right.
hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, right.
So are we all in the Browns package? Or what?
Yep. This is, like I said, last chance for me.
And just to catch up on some of Caleb's picks, he picked Seattle. He's picked Cleveland as well. So
smart boy.
Next one is the Chargers versus the Packers. Again, like if we thought the Chargers in the beginning of the year, this has been a much better game. However, the Chargers, they come off the win against the Bears, but
I know.
Crap.
I think the Packers are, they've made some controversial moves that I wasn't thrilled with. Losing Cobb, losing Nelson, losing Clay Matthews. But you know what? They made up for it, and they're still performing. And you got the guys filling in that are doing well. So.
Who's the kid that running the ball? Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones? I had him last year in fantasy.
Man, he's a tank.
Yeah, he is.
Wow.
He's great.
I was hoping that'd be their weak spot, but nope.
Let's see. I've got to have him.
And it's hard to go. I mean, again, we're talking Philip Rivers versus Aaron Rodgers. If you do that, like you guys are saying, player for player, man, you got to go Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
You got to go Aaron Rodgers. Like
That's
I said, like Philip Rivers is that almost elite, like that cusp, but where Aaron Rodgers is.
But you're like, who's going to pull it clutch? Who, if you got to throw a 60-yard Hail Mary, is going to make it? Probably Aaron Rodgers for some goddamn reason.
Because he's done it so many freaking times.
Some goddamn reason.
I remember getting in the playoffs against the Giants, and he did that. He threw that Hail Mary.
Yep.
And my brother's a diehard Giants fan, right? And he doesn't get to watch Aaron Rodgers as much as I do because I'm a Bears fan. We play him twice a year. And he starts bugging, son of a bitch, oh my God, lucky bastard. I'm like, you just got Rodgered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm so used to that. Like,
right.
He just does it over and over again. The Lions, we had Manny Rutledge on here. He's a big Lions fan, and we talked about when he did that to the Lions a couple times. And he's just like, it's Aaron Rodgers. Like, you bastard. You know what I mean? You hate him that much because he always does shit like that. And, I mean, I just don't, unless Bosa and Ingram could get to Rodgers, I don't really see.
Yeah, exactly.
And what they did to Kansas City, I hate to say it, but Green Bay is the team to beat in that division.
And yeah, I would absolutely agree. You know, I'm not even gonna mince words with it. I'll just say Packers.
Does he still have that championship belt that Clay Matthews got for him when they won the Super Bowl?
The discount double check?
Yeah, I was about to say. That's my pick right there. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. The next one, the Vegas line's only 3.5 in favor of New England, but Baltimore versus New England.
In Baltimore?
In Baltimore. Baltimore has those weapons if they use them the right way. But it's New England. It's New England.
It's New England. It's a Sunday night game.
They now have Mohamed Sanu. They dropped Gordon a little bit of extra weight. You got Sony Michel, great runner, and the best defense in football. So
I think the 49ers would argue that.
I do as well.
I agree.
Think the Buffalo Bills
I won't even say the Bills necessarily because the Bills have really not played that many challenging teams besides.
Neither has New England.
Exactly.
But the New England.
This is their first real test.
New England's
Kansas
defensive
City.
line is tight, man. 31 sacks on the season. That's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
But when you played, the Bills gave them their biggest fight so far.
And we should have won.
They've had a very easy season. I'll say
and
that.
you got Miami and the Jets and the Giants and the Redskins and some of these like wicked shit teams.
I agree.
I like the Ravens in this one.
Really?
I really do. I feel like if the Chiefs and the Ravens, I'm sorry, not the Chiefs, but the New England and the Ravens, you got a great coach in Harbaugh. It's been with that team for a long time.
Yeah.
He designed something new with this offense that he hasn't ever had because Flacco's kind of a statue. Belichick hasn't seen a player like Jackson, because there is no player like Jackson.
Yeah.
Right now, like they were just
He doesn't even know what he wants to be, a passer, a runner,
and be both.
Yeah.
But like you're talking about that stellar defense of New England, but they come after this guy and they whiff.
Right.
And he's on to the second level and he's gone. He's the kind of quarterback like, Michael Vick that could just take the ball and go to the house with it.
Yeah.
And he's better than most of the running backs. But then there's this other guy that nobody's really talking about, and his name's Mark Ingram.
Oh, yeah, Mark Ingram.
And that's a beast.
Yeah.
That's a bowling ball.
That's true. You haven't heard much from him over in Baltimore this season.
No, and I
Doing
think
just fine.
If I'm Baltimore, I give him a heavy dose of Mark Ingram, so that way tire down that defense, get him a little tired down, beat him up, and then Lamar Jackson can then run all over him.
And I will say
play action
Baltimore's
pass
got the
means
best
more.
line of any team they've faced so far.
And they got a good D.
Yeah.
They got a good defense. So I think if any team right now up to date is going to challenge the New England Patriots, it's the Baltimore Ravens. And the Ravens, they got that swag. I mean, like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like the Ravens are the best like rival for the Pittsburgh Steelers because they're almost like mirror each other.
They make each other a little better too, They find what the other one has and they try to fill that void.
And like every time you see the Ravens, they can have an off year, but they still have a chance of getting that playoffs.
Yeah.
They still have a chance to make waves. And I always felt like that way with Pittsburgh as well. And so they got that swagger. You thought, okay, you lost Flacco and they didn't know what their identity was, but they got into playoffs last year.
Yep.
And this kid played for him in the playoffs. I just think they got a couple wrinkles into play for Belichick and the boys, and you can't really do it all on tape.
Right.
So I just think they got a couple tricks up their sleeve. So I think they're going to stun New England.
All right. What do you think, Stu?
I'm going to not pick this as a Buffalo Bills fan.
So which means he's going New England.
No, actually, I'm going the Ravens, but it's not because I'm a Bills fan. Like I said, I've been talking about it with you guys. I think the Ravens are really good. I really like Lamar Jackson. I like the fact that he shut up a lot of critics about like passing the ball. Granted, he still runs a lot. Don't get me wrong, but same thing you said. I don't think that the Patriots have really seen. I think Belichick's seen just about anything that you can think of, but he hasn't seen like this team. He hasn't seen this style of team yet.
And a guy like
not this season, just kind of like the Chiefs last year.
John Harbaugh with a guy that can with this type of quarterback. We've seen what Harbaugh did with a statue like Flacco. We've seen how Baltimore can win a Super Bowl with what's his name there that they played in 2000. Like they never had awesome quarterback play, but they always found ways to win. And now they're getting some pretty stellar quarterback play. So it's going to be kind of interesting, like how Harbaugh actually.
I also don't think John gets enough love.
No,
not at all.
Great coach.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's always had that team ready to play.
And I don't want to say he's a player coach like he's buddy. I mean, he is, but there seems to be a lot of discipline, but also relaxed at the same time. If that makes any sense.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely does.
Well, I think I think Jackson. I'll say this: he's impressive. First quarterback in the Super Bowl era to be both the
Dilfer. Tom said Dilfer. That's what I was talking about.
Trent Dilfer.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
Jackson's the first quarterback to be both the passing player of the week in 1 week and then the rushing player of the week in another week. He could throw for 400 yards and then rush for 152. Mm-hmm. He could do it all, but I think this Patriots defense, there's a reason they have 31 sacks. They know how to collapse that pocket. Even if he wants to scramble, you got guys all over you. And they are like freaking white on rice in the defensive backs. So as much as I hate to say it, because I can't believe they're still winning this much, I got to say New England. I think they get into Lamar Jackson's head. I think he's a little bit maybe getting not cocky, but like comfortable in his abilities to the point where they have yet to play a serious team either, and the undefeated Patriots are serious.
Yeah,
Tom Brady is.
I feel like there's a big challenge for both of them.
Surgical, absolutely. So you know what I got to go New England just because out of their ability to close, I just know them.
It's hard to argue. I mean, they are, as Silbert calls them, the system.
Yeah.
But I feel like you're gonna see more Ingram in this game.
Speaking of Silbert, he picked the Ravens.
Did he? Know?
He picked the Ravens to win this, so I'd be interested to get his opinion why next week when he loses.
Yeah, and
he also picked the Packers over the Chargers, and the Browns over the Broncos, and the Seahawks over the Bucks, just to catch up where he was.
And Caleb picked up Seahawks, Cleveland, Green Bay, and New England, and he also picked Dallas over the Giants, which we're getting into the Monday night game. Wow. Giants at home against the Dallas Cowboys. The Giants. I mean, the defense isn't there.
I know.
That much is true.
On paper, this should be a good game.
On paper, this should be a game. I like where the Giants' offense is starting to go. I like the unit needs to figure each other out a little bit more. They need a little bit more. I think as they play together in this team, they're going to gel a little bit better. 100%. Saquon Barkley back in the fold. I like the idea that Barkley wasn't playing early on because he got hurt.
Right.
That gave Jones a chance to hit other players, get other players involved. So when you get your superstar back, he learns how to play with them again.
Right.
But knows how to play with these other guys as well. I just don't think against the Cowboys coming in. I really want to pick the Giants because I hate the Cowboys. And the Cowboys, I'm not believing in.
Preaching to the choir.
I'm not believing in the Cowboys either. I just don't believe in the Giants any much more. And coaching, the coaching on here, you got average at best.
You got clap hands over there in Dallas.
That dude.
I cannot stand Jason Garrett, man.
Dallas fans, I know you're out there, and some of you are starting.
I know you, dem boys.
Dead boys.
If I were the Dallas Cowboys fan, I would be super pissed that they haven't fired Garrett yet.
Oh yeah,
I'm pissed that they haven't fired him 3 years ago.
Because they're just skating by with these decent enough players to win, and it doesn't matter how shitty you coach.
You almost rather them. If I were a Cowboys fan, I would want them to lose so you get rid of this jerk off.
Right.
But then again, it's like who we pose this question again too. Like who's going to want to work for Jerry Jones? Like Parcells said, if you want me to cook the dinner, let me go out and buy the groceries. You don't have that option in Dallas. You're a puppet. After the game, they don't talk to Garrett. They talk to Jerry Jones.
Send Rex Ryan down there. Come on. Do it.
What was it? His scrub brother down there for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a joke.
Dude,
Yeah.
I feel like
Rex
Jerry
in
Jones
Dallas.
is just an antique of a very racist past.
You know who I could see them hiring down there is Adam Gase.
Oh.
Yeah.
That guy that's like
With
on his
Kellen
last
Moore.
leg. What's that?
With Kellen Moore, their offensive coordinator, Dallas. He was quarterback for Boise State when he's in college.
Like nothing about that Dallas offense is wowing me right now.
Right.
I mean, they got a strong run game and good offensive line, but to me, it's in the play calling. You're calling vanilla plays. There's so much more. You got some other talent on that team that you could be really putting up higher numbers than what you're doing.
I've heard that Kellen Moore apparently is just an offensive like whiz. Like that's what was being said before the season. Do you think that Jason Garrett's pulling what I like to call a Dick Geron and just going over his coordinators' heads on play calls by any chance?
I just think he's I don't know. I think he's a puppet. I think he just does whatever Jerry Jones sends down and says, this is what I want to do. Because, again, after the game, you're talking to the owner of the team and not the coach.
Right.
You don't see that in any other team. Every other team, they talk to the coach.
Yep. Yeah.
Used to be years ago, Dan Snyder, when he was big mouthing it out, they used to put him on the podium. But you notice you haven't heard from him in a while? He just shut his mouth.
Yep.
And Jerry Jones still wants to put his big old, cryptic face, he looks like the crypt keeper. He wants to put his face in the freaking camera. But your coaches never have that freedom to actually develop your team.
Yeah.
And you just need an order taker.
Well, we're in the era of exposure, and all people want is what's really happening on the team. We want to feel like we know these guys. We understand the coordination. We understand where the team's going. You're getting some old, for lack of a better word, a geriatric guy who has very disconnected from his team. All he does is supply the money. Why are you going to him for the advice? Why are you going to him for the opinion on the team? Why is he giving the insights on the players? It's a very antiquated style, for
and
sure.
you're basically pulling the rank on the coach.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's doesn't matter what you say, Garrett, you're not the coach.
And you think
the
he's
coach.
coordinating it? Like, hey, come talk to me?
I think, yeah. I think he's got his people I think that's why he doesn't want Garrett like on the podium as much. Like,
Right.
like it's not a.
It's not that he owns the Dallas Cowboys. It's that he's the owner of the Dallas
Right.
Cowboys. Like, come pay attention to me. This is my team, and I know what I'm doing here. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, exactly. And like you do as I say, because he's going back and what he happened with Jimmy Johnson. But since that era, they really haven't done anything.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
I think the Dallas Cowboys, once again, to make a wrestling like comparison, much like I say about WWE, I think the Dallas Cowboys will be better, just like the WWE, when the old man is gone.
Yeah.
And you can say, well, what about his son? Well, maybe he'll be more hands off.
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta like hands off. You know, sometimes you need a GM and you need a coach.
Is Mark Davis as hands on as Al was? I mean, he might still be hands on with the Raiders, but is he?
Right, he's not.
He's
and
not
Al
Al.
Davis and Jerry Jones are almost two in the same.
Oh yeah, they're buds.
Yep, and just like you knew the Raiders weren't going to do anything until
Al was gone. But you freaking wanted Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, my brother just like, did you
I was
just
gonna
pick
say,
the
is that your
Cowboys?
brother?
He's like, just threw up in my mouth, dude. I had to pick the Cowboys and the Packers.
I know.
And go against the Bears.
I didn't even make it.
I'm ready to throw up.
I didn't even make a pick yet because the Cowboys look like trash against the Jets, but then they come back and don't look terrible. You know, I'm just going to pick the Giants because I really like Saquon Barkley.
Me too, man.
That's it.
I like Saquon.
I like Daniel Jones too.
I think Daniel Jones is the future. I really do. I like the core. I mean, you got the tight end.
Fuck it.
Evan Ingram.
Giants.
You got
Sterling
Shepard.
It's official.
You got.
You just don't have a great offensive line.
No, your offensive line is terrible. Mm-hmm. So you definitely got to revamp that. And then the defense. The defense is playing god awful.
Yeah.
And that's a signature of the Giants was their defense.
Yep.
And I don't care what you say about Eli Manning. It was the defense that won those Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And
thank you, Eli.
it's just not there
again.
And Daniel Jones gives them the best chance to win over Eli. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. That team will respond better to a younger quarterback that is growing, that has a promise and a future. Eli Manning's just old news right now.
I agree.
And I think going forward, they're going to really they're going to gel. I think they're going to be in good shape. It's just not this year.
No.
Tom's saying Steven needs to take over completely. He's actually holding JJ in check a little bit over the past last couple of years. I have heard that. Maybe it was from you, Tom, but I heard his son isn't as dominant, but maybe that's it. Maybe it's time for the old man to kind of, but will he ever do that? Will he ever like just leave it up to his son to have the whole thing while he's still living and breathing?
Yeah, like I said, man, we're saying the same thing about WWE with freaking Vince McMahon. Will he ever just let go?
I mean, you could see Jones just selling the freaking team before he gives it to his kid. He's that kind of person. But I don't know. I think it is in years to come going to change.
Well,
hopefully
here's the thing.
for the better.
They were in
Sell him to Mark Cuban.
They're really in love with that.
That'd be so
Sell it
great.
to Mark Cuban. He'd probably be decent.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
The Mavericks aren't shitty. Like,
and he turned that Mavericks team around. They were shitty.
Yeah.
They were a joke when he first bought them.
exactly. And he knew, I mean, he markets them pretty well.
Yeah,
And
he
I love
does.
watching him put like people on ESPN or any sports like talk show just in there, like when he put Skip Bayless in his place. It's so great.
I hate Skip Bayless.
He's more
I hate
tolerable,
Skip
but
Bayless.
when he's like, Skip, what kind of defense were they running? And Skip's like, he was that. He's like, no, but what kind of defense were they running? And he just buried Skip Bayless, and I love to see that.
Yeah.
I hate Skip Bayless.
No,
I'm not a big Stephen A. Smith fan either, but
More so than Skip, though.
yeah, but Stephen A. once in a while will come up with something that actually I could get behind.
I like Kellerman, to be honest with you. Max.
Oh, yeah.
I like Max.
Flood warning.
What's that?
All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here.
We're going to go hop on Noah's Ark?
Yeah, right. We're gonna
It sounds
kayak
like it's
out of here.
downpouring out there, man.
It is a blizzard.
I hope you guys are all safe out there.
A blizzard of rain. Because right now I think Silbert is I think he's out there
With his
trick or
kids.
treating.
I know all the people trick or treating. Man, I hope
blood
you're
warning
safe,
till
and I hope
11.
you get through it because I'm so happy not to have a kid tonight.
Yeah, right. Just tonight, right?
Yeah.
Just tonight we're happy.
That's it.
I do have
I
a
might have a kid out there, but not tonight.
I do have a child. Unfortunately, it's a dog, so it's probably hiding under my bed right now.
Oh wow,
yeah.
doesn't like the thunder.
He doesn't like rain. Thunder doesn't bother him, but like he just hates rain.
I want to thank you guys for coming in tonight because, both Sil and Caleb couldn't make it. Caleb was ill. Sil's trick-or-treating. He says he's doing it for the kids. It's bullshit. He's doing it himself.
Yo, he needs them full-size Snickers. He's trying to find the ends.
Yeah, right. But so if you guys didn't come today, we wouldn't have a show, or it'd be just me talking to myself.
Listen, I appreciate it. You guys keep giving the Lost Guidance podcast publicity.
Yeah.
And I hope everybody, just goes, checks it out, enjoys it. And it's always a great time just shooting the shit on it.
And where do they go to catch it?
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud if you want the audio version. Working on getting on the old Apple podcast and all that stuff. So that'll be this season for sure.
And he's got the unrated stuff on RedTube, right?
Yeah, that's it. You can find me on Bang Bros Bus.
Oh, you probably
That's how you knew where the bus was.
No, man, I really do appreciate it.
heard
Like
that
I said,
job
check it
sucked.
out, Lost Guidance podcast.
Thanks, brother. Thank you for coming in. And Stu?
Pleasure to meet you, man. We got some more
Unfortunately, you
football chat.
assholes. Yes. Unfortunately, assholes have to see me every Wednesday as long as you tune in to Wrestle Fandom Radio, 6 p.m. Wednesdays, Disruption Network, Facebook, all over the place.
Shit's kind of hitting the fan over there with the change of networks, right? Didn't SmackDown go to like Fox or NBC?
Oh yeah,
Or...
I really don't pay a lot of attention to the main roster anymore. It's so like I have to kind of because I'm a lifer, but I really like NXT, AEW on TNT. I've started watching like some AAA Mexico stuff.
AEW's the Chris Jericho started one, right?
Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes started
of the famous Rhodes family.
Oh,
yes.
Dusty Rhodes' son.
Yep, him, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega with Tony Khan, son of
James Khan?
No, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Gardner Minshew?
Yeah, he owns them right now.
Yeah.
But that's every
Wednesday
at 6. So it's you, Garrett,
and Demetrios, Recchio, whoever really wants to come on. But you'll definitely see me, Garrett, and usually Ant.
And you guys got some great shit coming out. It's the stuff they're doing.
I'm still trying to like flesh out how I am on that show.
It was an Immortal
Championship Wrestling.
And what they do behind the scenes in the locker rooms, it's freaking epic. It's great.
Awesome.
You guys are killing it, man. Thank you so much for all you guys, helping me out, showing for these guys. Next man up.
Yeah.
Next man up, and you guys killed it, dude.
Next time I'll bring more notes.
Fuck the notes. We go off the cuff.
All right.
But I want to thank everybody checking us out. I also want to say thank you to the Greater Area Utica Chamber for nominating the D.
For Business of the Year, right?
Business of the Year. Thank everybody.
Top 3, right? Or best
Yes,
businesses in the past year or best businesses in the area, right?
Yep.
That's awesome.
And I think it's great. It's awesome. And it's, everybody's been coming on, helping out with the shows, Wrestle Fandom, everybody, EC Radio, all that. And the people tuning in to listen every week and supporting what we do. So just to be mentioned in the conversation is awesome.
Yeah.
So best of luck to all the other businesses out there. So we will see you guys next week, next Thursday. Hopefully the regular crew will be back. If not, you guys will be getting a call from me. Maybe these guys just got ousted.
Happy Halloween, you son
I'm
of
going to take your spot.
We'll see you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
See ya.
It's Bowling for the Bahamas and Celebrity Bowling Challenge to benefit the Bahamas Disaster Relief Fund. Sunday, December 1st, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. AMF Panorama Lanes, 1724 Genesee Street, Utica. Come have fun and enjoy a few games of bowling for a good cause. There will be prizes, food and drink specials, and some special challenges mixed in along the way. $20 per bowler or $100 per team includes 2 games and shoe rental. All proceeds go directly to the Bahamas Relief Foundation. That's Bowling for the Bahamas and Celebrity Bowling Challenge, presented by Disruption Network, Holy Pozzoli, and AMF Panorama Lanes. Sunday, December 1st, 1724 Genesee Street, Utica.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broken everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Hey, Disruption Network. This is Mike Sacco, the general manager at Nye Volkswagen of Rome. If you don't know me by name, it's only because you have not received the best deal. There's only one reason to leave Utica, and that's to come see me in Rome and get the best deal on your next new, pre-owned, or certified VW. Mention that you heard this ad from Disruption Network and receive $250 off your next vehicle purchase. You'll know why our customers say, I love my Nye VW. Come see us at 5865 Rome Taberg Road in Rome, or visit us online at NyeVWofRome.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar, brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.